Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. Well and truly caught on the hop. I thought 8 o'clock kickoff, 7 o'clock team news like it is on Premier League, but it's the League Cup and they obviously do it like the Europa League and do it a little bit early. So hence it's a little bit early. Caught it. We're on board. We're on board. Let me get the live comments up. Surprised about that, but team news is quite promising. Mkhitaryan is starting. Martial is starting. I think that's what I'm pleased about. Live comments is up. So let's just go through the team. I'm with it. I've seen it. Depay in goal. Valencia, Rojo, Jones, and Shaw. I don't know what Daley Blind's done wrong. A bit weird. There are some weird comments from Mourinho, which we'll talk about in a minute. So Rojo and Jones. I don't know why Daley Blind's not playing, but that's the only change I would have made. Carrick anchoring the midfield. Again, absolute madness. We miss him because we play him in the Europa League, and then he misses the League Cup, the league game when we needed to win, and then we're risking him again in the League Cup, and he probably won't be fit for Everton. So I think that's stupid as well. Ander Herrera playing, not bothered about that. Mkhitaryan, yes, happy. Rooney, yes, happy. Martial, yes, happy. Zlatan, why are we playing bloody Zlatan? You know what? I would have played Rashford. I don't know. It's just a bit odd about Zlatan as far as I'm concerned. He just seems to play every game. And I'm a massive fan of his, but we should have played Rashford. And I'm quite envious because Liverpool play all these kids last night and it's really exciting for them. And yet again, you look at the bench, no Fosu Mensah, Blind, Schneiderlin, Schweinsteiger, Lingard, Mata, Rashford. No youth. Absolutely no youth in a League Cup game, quarter-final, at home. I'm disappointed by it. You know, I am disappointed. I don't normally moan about Mourinho and his lines-ups, but he's got to start using this. If Fosu Mensah can't play in this game, when can he play? When can he play? He can't even get on the bench. He can't even get on the bench. And Memphis isn't even on the bench. You know, what is the point in Memphis? What is the point anymore in having Memphis? I think I'm echoing a lot what a lot of people say. You know what? As I've always said, I totally back this manager. But this is not Manchester United to do this. It's a League Cup game. It will, if we win the League Cup, it's brilliant to get a bit of silverware. But it will get us in the Europa League. And I don't mind winning it, but I don't like the team and I don't like the bench. And I'll always be honest about that. So get commenting, give us your thoughts. Noel Commons says Pogba is a big loss. Rashford should start. Zlatan is going to slow it down. Totally agree with that. 2-1 Ashwin Gill. How about you? Says Marco. You're surprised he doesn't play the youth, says Imdad. I'm not surprised he doesn't use... You know, the youth for me isn't Fosu Mensah and it isn't Rashford. They were brought in last year successfully. They're not... They are youth, but they're not... It's not like what Liverpool did last night, experimenting with youth. Experimenting with youth, for me, is the likes of Twansebe, Roshan Williams, people like that. Fosu Mensah's proved himself. I don't know why he's not playing, and Rashford just plays out of position because we've got Zlatan, and that is going to screw Rashford up. Because what I said in the summer is I thought Zlatan would be brilliant for the likes of Martial and Rashford because he's one of the best players in the world, and he'll be somebody they can learn from. But how are they going to learn if they never play up front? Because every single minute of every single tournament, Zlatan plays up front, and I just think tonight was perfect for Rashford to play. I'll probably get proved wrong. If Zlatan scores a couple of goals and starts hitting the back of the net, then that's what we want to see. But Manak says, not happy with Zlatan there. Have Herrera. I'm going to do this. I'm going to type the lineup for you now. But it's not bad. It's Depay in goal, Valencia, Rojo and Jones. Again, I don't know what Daley Blind's done wrong. If anybody knows what he's done wrong, please let me know. Write it on a postcard. Luke Shaw at left back, happy about that. I think he's sort of working his way back in. I wasn't bothered about him not playing on Sunday because I think he played on Thursday. He needs to work his way back in. Carrick anchoring the midfield. I have concerns about that simply because if Carrick plays tonight, is that going to mess him up for Everton on Sunday? I think we're misusing Carrick, and I think that's reflected in the amount of points we're getting in the league. Rooney and Herrera, no problems with that. Mkhitaryan, very excited. Martial, very excited. Zlatan should have a field day today, and I hope he does. I want to see my name on screen, says Serge. Probably just about to go up any second now, or you might have missed it. But I'm going to type out the team for you, so it's up. It's flashed up on the screen. I've got a bit of a team, and I mean it's interesting, isn't it? There's no Memphis on the bench again, which I think that has surprised a few people. I don't know Darmian in the squad, but played on Sunday. He tends to just drop people though, doesn't he? We've got a massive squad, and that does seem to happen. I would have liked to have seen. Rashford playing up front, obviously. I would love to have seen Schweinsteiger starting, but I have been told that Schweinsteiger being put on the bench is just a bit of a, lip service. He's not actually ever going to play any games, so we'll have to see about that. But I'm just typing out the team for you. You'll have it on your screen any minute. Rooney playing, expected that. No worries with that. Mata not involved at all. But so it's odd, isn't it? It's always Mata. It's always Mata. Who misses out completely, and I just think tonight was the perfect opportunity to just give Zlatan a total night off. He doesn't need to play in this game, but we play him because I tell you what, whether you agree with it or not, Mourinho is going 100% out to win this tournament. He wants to win it, whether you think that's right or wrong. He wants to win this tournament. Personally, it's my lowest priority, considering the FA Cup will be coming along soon. All it does is get us back into the Europa League, which I do not want to be in next season, and I'll be honest about that. But a cup is a cup, as many people say, and don't want to see that. So I'm just look. Oh no, Mata's on the bench with Lingard and Rashford and Schweinsteiger and Schneiderlin and Blind. So Mata is on the bench. I did get that wrong, and I'll put that onto the bench now. Lingard, Mata. Yeah, so give us your thoughts. I'm very, very happy about Martial starting. I'm very happy about Luke Shaw starting. I'm very happy about Mkhitaryan starting. I'm quite happy that Rooney's starting. Carrick, I don't agree with starting. If it was me, I wouldn't do it. And I'm not Manchester United manager, but we always give our opinion, don't we? So I wouldn't have had Carrick starting for the simple reason that I think he's more important on Sunday away to Everton than he is in a League Cup game where you could have just played Schweinsteiger, who apparently is tearing it up in training. So MUFC fan makes a good point. A cup is a cup, but not at the detriment of using the youth. I'm really, really, really disappointed that Fosu Mensah isn't even on the bench in this sort of game. We mock Liverpool, we hate Liverpool, but in fairness to Liverpool and Klopp, last night, loads of youth used, and they got through the tournament, and that just fills you with a lot of confidence. I don't know what confidence you take from picking your strongest team. I mean, well, having said that, he changes the team so much every game, doesn't he? But what he seems to do is recycle players that many of us feel just aren't Manchester United players. I mean, Schneiderlin, I know he had a little bit of a knock. Fellaini's injured, Bishwat, so he was never going to play. Consequences if the chosen one loses, says Pablo. None. There are, we're not going down that path at all. Mourinho is not going to be sacked. I think the only way he ends up not being Manchester United manager in the next 18 months is if he walks away. But I wanted to see more youth, and that's what Atul says. We need to see more youth. This is what Manchester United's about. I don't know whether there's any truth in these rumours, but there are rumours that Sir Alex, Sir Bobby and David Gill are not happy with Mourinho. They're not happy with the way he conducts himself, and they're not happy, most of all, by the lack of youth being used when we're nearly halfway through the season, which I think I said I never expected that really to happen. But Abhinav makes a good point. Mark Mourinho should have started Bastian and should have rested Carrick. I think Mourinho's playing safe and he definitely rates this cup. He does, even at Chelsea he did. We've got to go. You know what? I want us to win today because I want us to play Liverpool or Arsenal. I want us to beat them. I want us to see us doing that. But Fellaini was suspended. Roma Dude, Blind hasn't done anything wrong, but I believe that Jose's taken on board some of LG's philosophy and it's not right. Daniel Fordham, somebody said that Mourinho will leave. Alex O'Donnell just liked the video and says let's all do the same. That's a good concept. Please do drop a like on the video. You're massively part of the watch-alongs, as you all know. Please share it and get involved. We're live and through after kickoff as well, so get involved, subscribe to the channel if you're new and all that shit. Should have played, sorry, shouldn't be swearing. Should have played the youth, says Amar. Completely agree. Mourinho's track record with youth speaks for itself. Manak says losing tonight equals meh and winning tonight equals meh. I understand where he's coming from. The positives from tonight for me would be Mkhitaryan having a stormer, Martial having a stormer and Luke Shaw having a stormer. I think they're the positives I would take from today because they are three players who probably aren't in our starting 11 at the moment, but I think if they can get in our starting 11 they'll make us a far better team, because when I compare this team to Sunday, you could argue this team is slightly better because of the width. I mean, obviously Pogba walks into this team and I think Mata does as well. But on Sunday, when we needed 3 points, I think the big mistake was, you've got a brilliant midfield of Mata, Pogba and Herrera, who, to be honest, probably didn't turn up as well as they would have liked to. But the width was a disgrace. I mean, you had Rashford on the left. I love Rashford. He's not a left winger. You got Lingard on the right. Again, I just don't think he's a first team player. He's a sub. You've got Valencia, who, he couldn't cross a crossword, should he? A bingo card. And you've got Darmian on the left who can't cross. Whereas tonight, you've got Luke Shaw, who actually can get forward and put a cross in. You've got Martial, who's better on the left than Rashford. You've got Mkhitaryan on the right, who can put a cross in. And you've got Valencia still. So you've got to have that width, and I think that's better about the team tonight. So I'm not negative about this team by any means. I wear my heart on the sleeve, and I am disappointed that we're playing Carrick and we could have played Schweinsteiger. Although I do take it on board that Schweinsteiger's never been a defensive midfielder, which one of you said at the weekend, and is a very, very good point. But we could have put Herrera as the holding midfielder and played Schweinsteiger. I think that's disappointing. I don't think we'll see Schweinsteiger playing 1 minute today, and I'll because he's going to bring Schneiderlin on first. I can't see Schweinsteiger getting a minute. I really think tonight, again, was going to be the chance for him to do that. With Pogba and Fellaini back, he won't even be on the bench on Saturday against Everton. So I think that Schweinsteiger hope has probably sailed. Tonight was the chance. But Fosu Mensah, you know what? You could have rested Valencia tonight. You've totally rested Darmian. You could have rested Valencia tonight. You could have rested Rojo and played him at centre-back. You could have rested Phil Jones. Tommy Knockers is loving the lineup. There are positives to the lineup, but I am disappointed because I think at the moment I feel sorry for Manchester United fans because you won't get a more loyal, passionate and vocal set of fans than Manchester United fans. And we've had a tough 3 years. And this year has been pretty tough because we expected us to be in a better situation than we are. We should be in a better situation than we are. Let's not forget that. But the worst thing is, everybody else, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool and City, they've got lots of positives from their season. They're streets ahead of us when it comes to points. We are taking it from all angles, lots and lots of rivals, rimmingers, whatever you want to call it. That's not the right word, Mark. But they're having a right go at us. And we are fighting back. As fans, we are fighting back. But in the back of our heads, we're like, why? The team actually isn't representing us that well. They're not fighting as hard as we are. And I'm jealous. I am jealous, especially I've mentioned Liverpool before, and I think City did it in the League Cup as well in the earlier rounds. And I know we knocked them out, but they have used youth. We're just putting a strong team out in the League Cup, and you know what? I think that's not really what Manchester United are about. Shoot me down if I'm wrong, not literally, but you know what I mean. That's Manchester United putting a strong team out in the League Cup to win the League Cup. That's not what we're about. We were the first team in the League Cup over a decade ago, probably longer, 20 years ago. Because, it's a long, long time ago, isn't it? It would have been the early 90s. When in the League Cup, we were the first team, really, that in the League Cup really ruined it by... Well, not ruining it, I think it's the best way of using it. But we were the first team to start putting out youth players in the League Cup. And everyone went mad at the time, and then everyone started copying it. We don't do that now. I think that's really weird. We don't do it. Everybody else does it. Track record, mu equals no youth, says JH, which I totally agree with, but I'm really, really disappointed that we don't get to see Fosu Mensah, because I think he's actually better than Schneiderlin, and I think he's actually better than Rojo. So that's just my point. That's my only real negative about the team today. Yes, I would have liked to see Rashford up front. I didn't expect it. I thought he'd play Zlatan. And yes, I wouldn't have played Carrick because I think Carrick is way more important against Everton. But he seems to have this problem with playing Carrick in the league, even though no Carrick, no party, and anybody can see that you play Carrick in the league and we get points. But we seem to be prioritising cups. I've got the bench wrong. Sorry, somebody spotted that. I've left Ashley Young on the bench. Who again, Ashley Young didn't come on. I don't know what you lot think. I do find his substitution selections odd sometimes, because Ashley Young's an unused substitute for our league game on Sunday, and then today you think, well, he'll be on the bench. He'll probably get a few minutes. Not part of it. I just think there's so much weirdness. Anaban, when's your next FIFA match? We will be doing that on Friday night. Hell or high water. I will do a FIFA stream on the United Stand FIFA channel on Friday night for you, because we haven't done it. Rojo is solid, says HD Devils. He's about as solid as my turd after a night on a curry. An uncooked one at that. Don't really have much youth to play, to be honest. None of them are ready. However, the two that are excluded, Pereira, Twansibi and Fosu Mensah, aren't included, says Dan Miola. Yeah. I agree with that. Swansea was never going to play anyway because he played on United the reserves. Pereira's on loan, but what does Fosu Mensah have to do? Would be my question. What does Fosu Mensah have to do? It's a concern because I said in the summer, don't expect him to start playing Swansea and that lot in any league games because that's not what Mourinho does. But the fact that he's ignoring Fosu Mensah, who is ready for League Cup games, is worrying. I expected to see more of Fosu Mensah in the league games. He's totally ready. But there we go. I'm just having a quick look at Twitter to see what everybody else is saying. But I'd love to have seen Schweinsteiger starting. I really would. But I always felt it was a step too far, and it wasn't going to happen. I don't think we will see him in a United shirt again, which is really sad because I think if we do see him in a United shirt again, he will force himself so far into the team that he won't be able to be sold in January. And he's such a fan favourite that I think it would backfire on Mourinho to play him. I don't know what you lot think, but I really do think that is possibly one of the reasons he's not using him, which is a shame. It is a shame. Just wait. Ross is going to come on in a minute, but I might be able to get a guest on while we're waiting. So yeah. Goes a bit high pitch. Get comments in, give us your thoughts. But see if we can get Sander. I don't know. He said he might have his on. Evening, Sander. Can you hear me?
I can do, Mark. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, pal. Have you seen the team?
I have done. I saw it with you. Like you, I thought it was going to come out slightly later than it did. I did see it. I have seen it. I'll give you my team firstly. I would have played. Oh, someone's calling me. I would have played Romero in goal. Would have played Darmian at right back just to rest Valencia. I know he doesn't necessarily need resting, but I would have done anyway. He's been one of our best players, our best outlets this season. So why not give him a rest? Would have played Jones and Blind at centre back. Jones needs all the games he can get at the moment, and if he's going to get injured, I'd rather him get injured now than in a league game or whatever. And then I would have played Shaw at left back to try and get him again games because he's not seen to have fully recovered after that injury. Then I would have played Schweinsteiger. This is considering we would have played 4-2-3-1. I would have played Schweinsteiger and Fosu Mensah in the midfield. I know Schweinsteiger isn't a central defensive midfielder. He does like to get forward. However, I feel that he can do a job there. Do you know what I mean? He is experienced enough and knows enough about the game that he could do a job. And then just let Fosu Mensah go off on one and just see how it's like to play against a Premier League side and give have that set of experience next to him and let him go off on one. I would have had Rooney at cam. He's been playing well, and I'd rather him play in the EFL Cup than in the Premier League. I would have had Mkhitaryan on the right, Marshall on the left, Rashford up front. I would have left Zlatan out of it, like you would have as well.
I think the interesting thing is about the youth, and a few people in the live comments have been going on about the youth, etc. What do you think about that? No Fosu Mensah, not even on the bench. We never expected to see the likes of Swansea anyway. What's your thoughts about that?
Well, for me, obviously I want to see youth come through, and I agree with you how Rashford is not youth. Well, he is youth, but he's not Jose's youth in the sense that he's proven pretty much, and it was Louis van Gaal's development. You have to remember, right? Jose is under severe pressure at the moment. Not necessarily from the United fans, but from the press. And the press, that comes across, and United fans listen to it, things like that. So if he was to play youth and take a massive risk, and go out on a limb and take that risk and lose, the press are then going to hammer him. You're going to get that whole thing. They can't even beat West Ham 2 times in a row and all that kind of stuff. So I can understand maybe why he's not done it, because he doesn't want to take the risk, and he's got to get wins under his belt.
I'll tell you what though, let me just put in there though, because I actually think that this is the thing. He's got to understand, he's a clever bloke, he has got to understand that he has got the backing of the fans, and I don't care if we lose tonight. if he plays Fosu Mensah, he's going to get backed by me. He's going to get backed by most people at home as well. I think that's a bit of a cop-out excuse if that is what he's going down. I mean, not from you, that he's thinking, I've got to win this game, so I'm going to play my best team. I think, if we saw, we're not going to see Twansibi, I knew that, but if we'd played Twansibi tonight as a centre-back and maybe Fosu Mensah in the midfield, or at right back, or whatever, or even, we would have been really excited. And I just don't know why he doesn't want to feed that excitement. I find that a little bit disappointing. It's not Manchester United for me. And like I said before, we were the first team in the League Cup to play kids, and now we're not doing it. Yeah,
I mean, I completely agree with you. I want to see kids come through and things like that. I do agree with you, but I can slightly understand Jose if he is going down that way. I can kind of understand his point, but again, he's got to trust the fans to back him, and will stay united. I do think he should have put Fosu Mensah in there. He's proven just as much as Rashford is. Do you know what I mean? For me, he's on Rashford's level. He did it. That game against Tottenham, and he played an absolute blinder. He was the best player on the pitch, so he should have known that. He doesn't have to play him at CDM or at central midfield. He can just put him at right back. Yeah, exactly. Put him at right back or somewhere like that, just to fit him in, get him ideas of the game, even though that's not his best position. But then still, he starts getting some match fitness.
Let me just read some of the comments out. Poker Horse says United playing first team in a joke cup says it all. Ray Dada says Basti should be playing the game. Dan the Man, I'd rather Fosu plays we lose than win with this team. You see, that's what I think a lot of United fans would feel, because we're about. I don't want to, for me personally, there's nothing in seeing Schneiderlin on the bench or coming on for 20 minutes. For me, he's had 2 years and it's not going to work. He's going to be sold. So that's my point, really. Schneiderlin's going to be sold, just like Memphis is clearly going to be sold. And I know that upsets a lot of people. And I just wanted to spend a minute or two on Memphis and ask you your thoughts, because I know for a fact, I can put my opinion on this and people pretty much know what my opinions are. I'm going to give you a massive opinion on what Mourinho said about Fellaini. I'm disgusted in a few minutes' time. But that's my opinion. That's not the United stand. I know for a fact there's a lot of you out there who like Memphis, and I will shout your corner for that, because that's what the United stand's about. It's about different opinions. I personally would sell Memphis tomorrow. I agree with it. But I have to give vocally a lot of what you lot say on the comments. And I know from Twitter and everything, a lot of you like Memphis. So, for me, tonight was an opportunity to play him. For me, tonight, if you are a Memphis fan, I've been telling you for weeks, he's gone. He's gone. If you can't get on the bench in a League Cup game at home at Old Trafford, home game against West Ham, and Memphis can't get on the bench, I nearly swore, he's finished. But I would put Schneiderlin into that category. I think he's probably had more chances than Memphis, to be fair. And that space should be Fosu Mensah's. But, I mean, tell me about Memphis. I can't remember what your thoughts are on him anyway.
You're in luck. You've got a Memphis fan on. I'm a Memphis fan. I said it before. I'm Dutch, so I do immediately like Memphis. I don't know why. I just got a thing for him. Not in that way, but I just do. I just like him. And
I think people just want him to be given more of a chance, don't they? Especially under Mourinho. All he's been given is 10 minutes. And, everyone was poor under Van Gaal. So, yeah, he was poor. But under Mourinho, he's never really been given a shot.
Well, my argument for that, I kind of agree with what you were saying then. Not necessarily your opinion, but I was agreeing with what you were saying. He's had 10 minutes, 16 minutes, 15 minutes, 10. Do you know what I mean? You can't really impact a game after 10 minutes, in my opinion. And you see that in his performances. When he comes on, he's so desperate to do everything. He wants to run. He wants to take on players. He wants to do that, which is good, but he does too much. He needs to do the simple things. And if you only get given 10 minutes and you make 5 passes, that doesn't stand out, does it? If you get given 10 minutes and you go past a few players and you score a goal or assist or make a difference, that then stands out, which is maybe in his mind the only way to get into the team. In his mind, maybe, if he comes on, makes a few passes and does a standard, just normal thing, that then maybe to him isn't enough to get into the team for the next game. So maybe that's what he's thinking, and he's trying a lot. He's so desperate. Look, I don't know if he's got an attitude problem or not, because well, in my opinion, we can't see that. People have been saying it, and I agree. He's acting like he's this professional, amazing superstar, which he's not. But maybe he just likes to drive fancy cars. Maybe he likes a bit of fancy clothing. Maybe that's just him, right? And he grew up he came from nothing, so now he's got stuff. I can understand why he wants to show it off a little bit and look at me. I've got all the stuff now. He might have an attitude problem and be a bit like that in training. If he does, fair enough, get him out the door. We do not need people like that in the club. People like that just gonna ruin it. Do you know what I mean? If he has got an attitude problem, get him out the door. I would not hesitate about that. Even though I'm a fan, get him out. But I do feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for him. And when he scored that goal, those 2 goals against Bruges, I was just so happy and so excited, and that seems so far away now. And on Schneiderlin, for me, he's got to go. I mean, like Memphis, he's done nothing for 2 years. Yeah, he was, one of the best players, one of the best midfielders in the league that season. Was it 3-4 years ago? Admittedly, I'll hold my hands up to that. But he's done nothing at the club, like Memphis, for the past 2 years. He's done nothing, right? So he doesn't, and he's been given his chance. And maybe not under Mourinho, but like Memphis, again, I have to hold my hands up. If I'm going to say one thing for Memphis, I have to be consistent, and I have to say, I have to be consistent. So for me, Memphis and Schneiderlin need to go. They haven't done anything. They're not making a difference, and we've got people who want to be at the club, and they're just taking up wages and space.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not Memphis out. I just think he's gone, and what I think doesn't matter. But I know that I wanted to cover that point because I know there's a lot of people who do like Memphis. I mean, people know where I stand on it. And I just think Schneiderlin is an oxygen thief on the bench tonight. I think that could have been Fosu Mensah's spot, and I'm really, really disappointed, as I've said before, for those people who've joined us a little bit late, that Liverpool just seem to be getting everything at the moment, and I hate Liverpool, but last night they won a game with loads of kids playing, and we don't even have one on the bench. And I don't count Rashford as that, because for me, Rashford is an established Manchester United player who should be part of the matchday squad every week. So him being on the bench as our youth, no. And Lingard, definitely not. He's closer to mid-20s than he is teens, so he's not a youth player either. Fosu Mensah should have been part of it. I think there should be more. I think Twansibi could have been on the bench today, but this is what you get with Mourinho. And I tell you what, I back Mourinho, and I know a lot of you do, but this will grind United fans' patience down if the results don't improve. His continued use of Zlatan up front in meaningless games where Rashford could be getting a run out. This is Wenger, Klopp, Conte, Pep, they'd be playing Rashford up front tonight because he needs confidence. He needs some game time in his natural position. So I think that's a shame. Schweinsteiger would love to have seen him to say. But Tommy Knocker's just said it as well. This is the front three I want to start in every Premier League game. And there are positives in the team. Luke Shaw at left back. I want Luke Shaw to just get back on his game because him in our first team will make us better. I want Martial to get back on his game because him in our first team will make us better. Mkhitaryan on the right, we all want him to play. Zlatan is going to be the first choice centre-back for Premier League games. So yeah, I just wouldn't have played him tonight. Carrick concerns me. Why didn't play on Sunday in the most important game? Plays Europa League game last Thursday and the League Cup game, the two least important games. And we need him on Sunday against Everton, so why is he playing? I would question that. If he picks up an injury or can't play on Sunday, I'd be gutted. But Rooney playing, no problem with that. He's at number 10. Valencia at right back, I probably would have put Fosu there. Rojo and Jones, don't really understand why Daley Blind isn't playing. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts, another Dutch man. Daley Blind seemed to be our get out of jail card last season under Van Gaal. I accept you get a new manager, but then at the start of the season, Smalling was suspended, Blind played really well, got moved to left back, played really well, and then you had that one game, I don't think it was Chelsea, I think it was somebody else.
It was City, that he might have, people were blaming him for that goal that De Bruyne scored. Is that not what you're thinking of? I don't know.
Yeah, but he seems to be out in the cold, Daley Blind, and I think he's an absolute. I wouldn't have him in my very, very first Manchester United team, but this isn't. We've got Bay and Smalling out at the moment. Daley Blind should be walking into that team as the left-sided centre-back over Rojo. I'm baffled by that, but I don't know what your thoughts are and what everybody else thinks.
Maybe what I think he might want to do. I'm just throwing this out there. Is that he wants to not play Shaw in every single cup game, in every single league game, and maybe wants to build that Rojo and Jones partnership as much as it can be done, and then keep Blind for the left-back position in the league games, and so just to build that Rojo and Jones partnership up. But I completely agree with you. I mean, was it Blin has racked up like 100 caps for us now. That's ridiculous. Like, and he's not even been here that long. He's just been so solid. He had Lukaku in his back pocket. Yeah, I know what you mean by his big game bottler. He bottled against Tottenham and against West Ham. But he's been solid. And he's been good. He's been fine. He's much better than Rojo or Jones, so he has to be starting for me. But yeah, maybe that's what Mourinho's trying to do. I don't know. I don't really know what Mourinho's thinking. It's a bit of a wild decision. Again, playing Carrick, it's so obvious. Play him in the league games. Do you know what I mean? It's so obvious. The statistics are there. We can all see it. I don't understand why he doesn't see it. But we've got to trust Jose. He's not in the position he is in now for no reason. He's done something right over his career, so we have to trust him. But in my opinion, Blin has to be playing. Carrick not playing. Schweini playing. And again, Rashford playing. It's ridiculous. I really don't understand. It gives us another option instead of keep having it to play it long, not long, but like into his feet. It gives us the ball in behind. And think about that: Rashford, Marshall, Mickey, and Rooney or Mata in there. That is just gold dust. That is so fast attacking. That is amazing. You're guaranteed goals with that front four. So yeah, that would be my team. Again, but like I was saying earlier, Liverpool. You have to remember, Liverpool are in a very good position right now in the league. They're second, I think it is, on goal difference, whatever it is. They're flying high. They're playing well. He can afford a loss in the EFL Cup. Do you know what I mean?
I think we can though. I really do think we can. But that's my point. I mean, I'm not bothered about I only want to win it now so we can play Liverpool. But I think we can as well. But what's your score prediction, Ross? Sorry, Ross. I'll get names mixed up, Sander, because I've got to get Ross on. But what's your score prediction?
I'd go 3-1 United. I think Payet is always a danger. Even if he is just assists or scores, I think it's very hard to stop him, especially with Rojo and Jones. So I think it'll be hard to stop him. But I think we've got the attacking threats, enough damage. We should be really winning this. I don't know what their team is. They might be playing some youth. But, we should walk this, in my opinion. But yeah, what's yours, Mark? Have you already said yours, or what's yours?
I've done mine, but thanks very much for coming on, Sander. We'll get Ross on as well, but really good points again, and we'll have you on soon. Cheers, pal.
Cheers, Ron.
Thank you. Thanks to Sander for popping on there. I will get Ross on now, as I just have a little scratch of my eye. But yeah, I am happy with the team. I'm not gonna lie and say that I'm not, but I just would have. I'd love to have seen Fosu Mensah. I would have loved to have seen Schweinsteiger starting. I'd like to have seen Rashford playing up front. But I said this on Sunday. I was happy with the team on Sunday and probably said it in a position of happiness that, we're never all going to get what we want. And maybe tonight's my night to not get a little bit of what I want. So there we go. But Ross is live with us now. Just very quickly, Ross. I mean, people are asking about the team. It is going on the bottom of the screen underneath me there. But it's De Gea in goal, Valencia, Rojo and Jones, Shaw at left back, Carrick, Herrera, Rooney midfield, Mkhitaryan on the right, Martial on the left, Zlatan up front. Your thoughts, Ross, on the team?
You know what? I'd put a little bit of a positive spin on it. And if I was Jose, people are saying that Liverpool played youth last night, right? But Liverpool played youth against Leeds United. I mean, if Man United didn't put youth out against Leeds United, I'll be furious. But we're playing West Ham, which is a team
I don't think you would, though, just very quickly.
Well, yeah, I know, I understand that. But, they're a team that held us to a draw on the weekend. And if it was me personally, I think that Jose sees this as, maybe a chance of an early trophy and a bit of a pick-me-up come March time to the fans and to the players. And I think he's taken, as he's always done, this tournament very seriously, more seriously than any other club in it, I believe, which is why we play such a strong team against Manchester City. And yeah, I agree. I'm very disappointed not to see Fosu Mensah, and I wouldn't have played Zlatan Ibrahimovic. But I kind of understand why he's done it. And if I was Jose, I'd have probably done round about the same thing, because we need to win this game. And if we put out the youth and lose it, I don't even think that it would be a hide into nothing. I think the media would be on our backs, as they always are. So I'd have probably played something similar, and I think we'll win tonight. And I hope that we go on to win the whole tournament.
Yeah, I don't really, maybe I just don't give a damn about what the media say. It's not their club, it's our club. And if he played Fosu Mensah and Twan Sebi tonight and we'd lost, I would have applauded him, because I can see the bigger picture. But
Yeah.
very interesting. I did want to put a tweet out. It's only 10 minutes old on Twitter, but I just basically tweeted out off the United Stand and the FC account. Is Jose right to play a full-strength squad in the League Cup, or should he have used some youth? 46% are saying full strength. 54% are saying use Fosu and Swansea. So it's not as clear cut. It is a divider, and I think that's always a good sign of things happening. We've covered Memphis. We've covered, I think, just very quickly, Memphis finished. Yeah,
100%. Yeah, I don't even want to see him in United shirt again. I think he's been given so many chances to prove himself, and he's not there. And he's been outplayed by players like Lingard. So as far as I'm concerned, that's your career over.
Yeah, I mean, people know where I stand, so there's no point in me saying it, and it's very similar to what you've saying. So I've sort of been, as it is the United Stand, that it's all about everybody's opinion. I've tried to jump on the other side. I understand people's frustration. I know we get a lot of fans who love Memphis. I just think you need to accept he's finished. He probably hasn't had many chances under Mourinho, and I think everybody was rubbish under Van Gaal. But obviously something's not going right in training. Mkhitaryan's forced his way back in. Schweinsteiger's forced his way back in from the cold. So why can't Memphis do it? It's got to come down to what the manager thinks, and there we go. What was that? Oh, yeah, so Schneiderlin is the position. Schneiderlin, for me, is in the same position as Memphis, and I think he's taking Fosu Mensah's position on the bench. That's the one that annoys me slightly. Obviously, very quickly on Schweinsteiger, I've got a theory that we won't see Schweinsteiger ever play for Manchester United again. I think it's all about a move. I think him being on the bench is all about subconsciously maybe getting a bit of interest from outside forces to go, oh look, Schweinsteiger's obviously doing really well in training, he's on the bench. I can't see him being used. I think Schneiderlin will be used ahead of him. I'd love to see him be played, and I think tonight was the perfect example to do it. I don't really agree with playing Carrick, but what's your thoughts on Schweinsteiger?
I'd absolutely love Schweinsteiger to play firstly, and I was listening to you just as you went live actually, and I totally agree with what you said, that we should have played Schweinsteiger ahead of Carrick today, because why are we wasting Carrick in these games? It is no Carrick, no party with United at the minute, and he's proven himself over and over. I think that Schweinsteiger does have a look in though. I don't think Mourinho would do that. I don't think he'd sacrifice a place on the bench for someone that he has no envisage of playing. It does come into, the thought pops into my head though, maybe Mourinho might be a little bit scared of playing him, because you could imagine the backing that he'll get from Old Trafford if he come on for even 10 minutes. I mean, the place would erupt, because he is a fan's favourite. And we all want to see him play, and it's so much to offer. He's a better player than Morgan Schneiderlin, and he offers the first team more, not just in his football, but in his leadership as well. I mean, the amount of caps he's got for Germany, and his German captain, for crying out loud. So I think he needs to be a part of this starting 11, and I think Mourinho, he's either, like you say, he's either manipulating it and trying to get a fee for him potentially, but I don't think we're ever going to get a fee for Schweinsteiger anyway. I think we're just going to have to write that one off. We only paid about $6 million for him, so it wouldn't really benefit us in any way to play him or to put him on the bench just to sell him. If we're going to sell him, we'll just get rid of him, because we're going to write the money off. So I think he's brought back for a reason, and I hope, and we keep saying it, is he going to be the number 2 of Carrick? Because he's the only player I can see at the minute that can kind of fill the same role that Carrick does, which is composed, putting in time challenges and sort of creating the pace for the team.
I think it's interesting with Schweinsteiger, and I think you hit the nail on the head, because I think if he comes on and has 10 minutes, especially at Old Trafford, like you say, the reception will be so good, and if he's anywhere near the player he can be, I mean, let's not forget, he was playing for Germany in the summer, in the Euros, far better than any of our English contingent did, and he was in good surroundings, but he was playing far better than any of our English contingent. I don't mean United players, I mean English players in general. So I think if he comes on and has a good period of play, it would be a really weird situation, because then if we sold him in January, we'd all be like, why have we let a player go who is better than most of the midfielders we've got, especially Schneiderlin, Fellaini. I think Carrick, Schweinsteiger is days better than Carrick. I said that last summer. It's a hard decision to make, but I do. And he may even be better than Herrera. But what I wanted to say is one thing, we must touch on it, because we are fast approaching kickoff at 8 o'clock. And I'm a massive fan of Mourinho. I will be vocal when I disagree with things, and I do disagree with no Fosu Mensah being involved tonight. I think it's ridiculous, and it's not what Manchester United are about. However, his comment tonight about Fellaini has. That's my, people will know. Fellaini is my button. If that's the one, that's my weakness, and not because I like him.
What was the comment? Because I haven't seen the comment.
So basically, he's come out and said that it's a real shame that Pogba and Fellaini are suspended for the same game because Fellaini is Pogba's natural replacement, and that is his words. And you know what, Mourinho is, whether it's going well or not, he's a very, very intelligent man. That is a stupid comment. Your thoughts, Ross?
Do you know what? I reckon Jose Mourinho must watch United stand, because sometimes I think he says things just to wind you up. I don't for 1 minute think Jose Mourinho believes that Fellaini is a natural replacement to Pogba. I mean, he's a footballing man. He must see it day in, day out, how inept Fellaini is in comparison. So, I don't know if he's saying that just to give Fellaini a little bit of confidence, because he's, to be honest, since his, run of poor games, he has been out of the team, to be honest, and it's gone a bit unnoticed the fact that Fellaini's been dropped, and it is good news. So I think that's just, it is a ridiculous statement. I don't for 1 minute think Jose believes that at all.
George Kyle says, please be aware that it will be a compliment to moralise Fellaini. I don't care. There's only one thing that Fellaini's a natural replacement for, and that's a toilet brush, and that's it. And I tell you what, if Mourinho sells Fellaini, I'll give him 3 years of bad results. I'll be ecstatic if somebody can just come into that club and sell that waste of space. I'll be happy. I've told you I'll dab, and I don't do dabbing. I'll do anything if he sells him. But I just think it's, as Ross said, it's going to be something. He'll probably outlive me at United. He will just be there forever. He'll probably end up being our coach, manager, whatever. He'll just be here forever. I don't believe there's going to be a day when we get rid of Fellaini from our club. I just think he's a Judas, and he's my Judas, and he's going to haunt me for the rest of my days at United, because I was furious the day we signed him, and I've never really changed that. I just cannot. It's not personal. I just think he's a crap footballer, and he's definitely not the sort of footballer that United need. And just very quickly, because you should always finish on a positive, I watched Fellaini when he used to own United, and this is what you get. Oh, Fellaini used to own United. You know how he used to own United? Standing right next to our centre-backs and Leighton Baines hitting a long ball. When are United ever going to do that? That's Fellaini's strength. Hitting a long ball to his chest, because as I always said, he's got better chest control than Pamela Anderson. He hit his chest, he's world class. But when are United? It's not United's play. We play him as a defensive midfielder, which he's not. But there we go. Dev, Mourinho's trying to boost Fellaini's confidence. Why? Would be my answer. Destroy his confidence. Make him leave. But Fellaini will leave, says Niall Carroll. Let's hope so. But what's your score prediction?
Well, I was way out. I was way out on the weekend, so
gotta get my,
you know what? I'm going back. I'm going back on what I said, basically, where a few weeks ago I was predicting United to win all the time, and we seem to be losing. And every time I predict a negative result, we seem to pull one out of the bag. So for that reason, I'm going to go with a draw again, and just for argument's sake, and hope that fortunes will change and we will get a result. Do you know what is interesting, actually? Mark's talking about Fosu Mensah, and I read a comment earlier, and I didn't see the name, but it was that Fosu Mensah is going to be the new Pogba for us, which basically means we're going to get rid of him because we're not playing him. And I totally agree with that, to be honest, because me personally, I didn't see Pogba's amazing talent when he was getting these odd chances at United's first team. I think Fosu Mensah, when he played the odd game for Van Gaal, you saw the incredible talent that was there, and we have to harness that, and we have to give him chances. And I agree with that, Mark, the fact that, right, and I don't even consider Fosu Mensah playing the kids, to be honest. To me, he's proving his worth at United already in the small chances that he's got, and I think it's not a risk playing him, especially, Mourinho's going through a patch at the minute where he's, resting a lot of players, and just shows the faith that he has in Antonio Valencia, because the guy was out injured for a month and he's come back and he's almost undroppable.
Yeah, he's definitely just clambering for results, isn't he? And that worries me in a way. Do you think he is sort of not feeling the pressure, but He's trying to alleviate pressure, and it's like, I'm playing my strong team tonight because I want to win this game. But the sad thing is that we're experienced United fans. I think that's what we're on about. We're experienced United fans. We know what United's about. We are quite relaxed about League Cup. Nice to win it, but tell you what, if we got knocked out and we played 3 or 4 kids, so what? His mentality is obviously different, and I think the sad thing is that it'd be ironic if Fletcher scored a hat-trick and knocked us out because he's a youth player that we let go. But I think this is probably the last opportunity, I think, that we could play some of those players. I think we've missed so many games over the first 3 months of the season. Whether you're managing on FIFA or not, people will know this. First 3 months of the season are the time where you play a bit of your youth. Once it's Christmas, latter part of the group, latter part of the tournaments, whether it's Europe or League Cup, or the FA Cup's quite important, and the League, there's not really going to be that much chance to blood youth. I don't think we're going to blood any youth this season. I don't think we're going to see much of Fosu Mensah this season, and I think that's really sad because I think that is stunting his growth.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. But then, we have given players like Fosu Mensah new contracts. Like it makes me feel like he is a part of the wider plan. But as you say, why is he not getting games? Why is he not getting on the bench? For me, I know a lot of people see Fosu Mensah as a centre defensive midfielder, but for me, he looks like quite a natural right back, and he's a perfect replacement for Valencia. So why are we not rotating him? Why are we not giving Valencia a rest in games like today? But that's another thing. And again, I'm furious with Darmian playing left back, to be honest. I think he offers us nothing. So, a positive today is to see Luke Shaw at left back, because for me, if we're going to win anything this season, Luke Shaw needs to be part of our starting 11, not on the bench, not being benched for Darmian on the left. Not saying Darmian's a bad player, I'm just saying he's not good enough as a left back. And, we all thought Martial was dropped and out for a few weeks, and he's back in the team today, which is amazing. And I hope we can... a Martial on form could absolutely destroy West Ham today.
Well,
that's what we need to see from
that. Yeah, I mean,
players.
We've spoken about things that we would like to have seen happen, but the reality is we are spoiled because we've got Mkhitaryan on the right, we've got Martial on the left. I know we're both very excited about that, and like you said, Luke Shaw. I mean, they're the 3 for me tonight that I'm looking at, because they're 3 who I think in our first team make us a far better team, but at the moment for different reasons they're not in our first team. Could have been a very easy, I wouldn't have been surprised tonight if Martial wasn't starting and wasn't even on the bench. So that's a massive positive.
And again, looking at this team and looking at the starting 11 we've placed, and this is no detriment to Juan Mata, but I think this is a better starting 11, hands down, than what we fielded on the weekend. With Martial and Mkhitaryan on the wings, it gives our team, and Luke Shaw at left back, it gives our team so much pace and so much creativity. And I think, I said it on the weekend, and I love Herrera, and I think he's a great player, and he's a proper Manchester United player. But I'd consider benching him, because I think Carrick and Pogba are both better midfielders, at this minute than Herrera, and I don't think Herrera is anywhere near as good of a number 10 than Juan Mata. So if you put Mata in this team for Herrera, make a few adjustments at centre back, because I think the centre back pairing's awful, you've almost got my number 1 Manchester United team out there, which is it shows how much Mourinho wants this title, and maybe he realises the mistakes that he made on the weekend.
Oh, well, I was talking about that, funnily enough, because we obviously spoke before the West Ham game at the weekend, and I actually think that this team, ridiculously, and Thursday's team is stronger than what for me was the more important game. The more important game for me was 3 points at home to West Ham in the Premier League. But I think when you look back now, the team, and I'm not talking about individuals, the team tonight and the team against Feyenoord is better than the team we put out. I mean, obviously the Carrick one you can't account for, but on Sunday, because that's more fresh, Herrera, Pogba, Mata is an ideal midfield 3, I agree. But the problem we highlighted was that the width. Where was the width? We were worried about the width with Rashford out of position and Lingard, who's not really, I don't think he's a first team player. Tonight, we've got Martial, who can play on the left very well. You've got Mkhitaryan, who can be a revelation on the right. And you've got Luke Shaw at left back. I think the width is very important. And the midfield's not bad. It's Carrick, Herrera, Rooney. So, I think the back four is still the back 4, but I think the team is actually, as a team, stronger, which is weird.
Yeah, Yeah, no, like I say, I totally agree with that. I don't know if he thinks Lingard's dependable or not, but he seems to be picking him for what we say are the bigger games. But what I'd like to see from Jose tonight is regardless of how Ibrahimovic is playing, I'd like to see him take him off after 60 minutes and give Rashford a run up front, because that's what he needs. And Rashford will probably come on and play quite poor because he's a young lad and he's going from winger to striker to winger to playing the odd game against Man City at wing back. So he's been messed about a lot, and he just needs a run in one position, and it's not left wing. Rashford is not a left winger. I understand. I hope that he's given Martial this left wing role, and I hope that he can keep this from a good performance tonight. But the only thing that for me would see Ibrahimovic stay on the pitch after 60 minutes today is if he's 2 goals chasing a hat-trick, because I just think that not for resting Ibrahimovic, not for bad form, but just get Rashford on the pitch. Just start giving him minutes. We could do this every game. Just give Rashford half an hour at striker, and it would just give us a tactical, something tactically different. Because if he puts Rashford on the left for Martial, you're just replacing like for like, and it's the same with most substitutions on the pitch, which is probably why they tend to pick Fellaini, because it gives us a different style of football, which is awful, but it's something different nonetheless. So why don't we, instead of putting Fellaini on and doing long balls, why don't we try Rashford up front, long balls over the top to Rashford, because 9 times out of 10 he gets on the end of them. So that's what I'd like to see from Jose tonight, even though we're not going to see Jose tonight.
Yeah. Laura King's just saying, Mark, you want Memphis sold? Don't you think it's safer to loan him? I'd be happy to, loaning him. We're not going to get much money for him, so loaning him's not a bad solution for 6 months. I'd be happy with that. The Zlatan thing, yeah, interesting. I just think, what if Zlatan gets injured? It's logical that any manager should be giving at least, tonight was the perfect chance. Zlatan, he's been missing chances, but he's not been playing particularly badly, I don't think. Tonight was an opportunity for Rashford to be playing a game, get some confidence, and I would have took it. But he hasn't. I'll be amazed if he brings him on for the last half an hour, and he'd probably bring him on the wing again. If I was critical of Mourinho, it would be about his treatment to Rashford and Fosu Mensah. I'm not happy about it, but you can't have everything. There will be a minute's silence for Chappie Cohen's, the horrible tragedy that happened yesterday. So I am keeping an eye out for that, because I don't want to be talking when that happens. A few people have mentioned that. If you're new to the United Stand, feel free to let us know in the live comments. We'll shout you out. But more importantly, subscribe to the channel. It's free, and we are all about live content. So if you subscribe, you'll get a notification every time we go live. That's why that's good. And drop us a like, because once the game kicks off, it's massively about you on the live comments. Shaka Phillips says we're linked to Mikel from Chelsea. I don't want him anywhere near our club. He was here before, and he absolutely screwed us over. No.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, we don't want him back. I'd take Willian. That's about it. I'm just trying to find something that's worth talking about in the live comments. Not that you're not all talking very good, or just like a topic. My score prediction tonight would be, we're going to win. This team will win tonight, definitely. I think I tend to go for 3-1 quite a lot, which sounds ridiculous when we can't score goals at home, but I think we will. It's just the league that seems to be causing us problems. Brian Crossdale's new and he's a Burnley fan. Everybody's welcome, and Minecraft Gamer is as well. And Matt Uber's watching from Dallas. JR, we shouldn't comment while the silence is happening, says Kata GHD. Well, it's up to you what you do. I'm sure people will comment. As long as there won't be any noise, that's the main thing. J-Dog would like Willian. I'm not going. Red, you'll get blocked, mate. You're right on the thinnest of ice. Hey, Mark, I'm new from Los Angeles, says Daniel Goldblatt. Amazing where everybody watches from. Mourinho, just very quickly, got the 1 match ban. I thought it would get longer than that. What was your thoughts on that?
Do you know what? I was expecting an FA apology, to be honest, based on previous events, and I think you probably know my thoughts on it, and I sound like a bitter Man United fan, but I just think the FA are an absolute joke, and the referees and the way that they're handling this is laughable, because you've got a manager that he kicked a bottle, for crying out loud. You've only got to watch Ian Holloway's press conference because he's even getting manager backing from other managers saying it's a bottle, it's not a player. He didn't kick it at someone. He didn't jump over the fence and kick a fan. You know, it's a. Why is there this media storm, and why did FA have to react to it? Okay, the ref sent him off, but the reason why Mourinho has got the match ban is because FA will blindly back their refs, and no matter what a ref will do, the FA will just back it. So I think that the referee, it's the celebrity ref thing again. It's I'm at Old Trafford, you know, there's hundreds of millions of fans watching me. If I send Mourinho off now, my name's going to be mentioned on Twitter, you know, millions of times. And I honestly am starting to believe that referees have that in the back of their mind. And I bet that referee, when he looked over and saw Mourinho kick that bottle, he must have been absolutely laughing inside, because that's what he would have wanted to have done all game, and that was what's going to give him the mentions. That's my opinions on it. I think the FA as an organisation are becoming laughable. And what's more laughable is the fact that the FA seem to have, you know, the backing of about another 6 clubs, because there's lots of clubs in the Premier League that are frustrated with the amount of success United have had over the past couple of decades and would rather see us fail, and they laugh at it, which makes us look like bitter United fans when we argue the case, because it is us against the FA and 19 other clubs, but it's an injustice in my eyes.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've been quite vocal about it on Twitter and on here about the FA. It's a joke, but as I said the other night, I think the issue is, it's like, you know, I would laugh if it was Klopp on Sunday, but on Monday I would have thought, you know what, as much as I'm digging out the club I can't stand, this is bad for football. Fans want to see managers passionate, and the FA are trying to turn us all into robots. So I'm firmly against it. I'm only surprised they only got one. I thought because he's already had one, they'd go and try and do another. Yeah. And so I'm quite pleased that he's only got one, because I do think it makes a difference. If you think about it, he got sent to the stands, I think, against Stoke or Burnley, one of the two. We didn't win the game. He gets sent to the stands against West Ham. We didn't win the game. So it does make a difference.
I think the only reason they've given him a 1-match ban is so it can pretty much get swept under the carpet then, because I think that's kind of conceding that the referee has made a bit of a mistake, and they can get away with a 1-match ban. We'll give it to you against West Ham, and no more said about it, because like you say, you know, because of repeat offence, it should have been a 3 or 4 match ban, but I don't think they'd do it because the backlash from the injustice of it would have been way too much.
Yeah, and I did read that article, I think it was 2009, from Wenger, who did it at Old Trafford, funnily enough, and got an apology, and basically the FA at the time said the referee handled it wrong and turned it into a storm in a teacup. Yeah, so we should have had an apology. It's inconsistent, but apparently there's new rules out. I'll tell you what, I've always said this about the respect campaign. Shove it up your arse, because that's not... Respect campaign is not about... You know, what annoyed me about the Clattenburg one, where he got sent to the stands at half-time, he didn't do it in front of 70-odd thousand people. He did it in the tunnel, and he told Clattenburg exactly what he is. Right. And but Clattenburg can send him off, and it's about respect. You don't respect people who make bad decisions. That's not what happens. You know, as I said at the time, if I'm at work and somebody makes a bad decision, and I tell them off about it, or they tell me off, I don't go, no, you can't tell me off because you've got to respect me. That's absolute rubbish. The FA live in a fantasy world on Lollipop Lane with gingerbread houses, and they're trying to make robots. The FA are a corrupt organisation, and they have been... I'm sorry, not a corrupt. Well, maybe some people they are. They're an archaic organisation that are out of touch, and that's exactly why they made 2 big decisions today that are really bad. First, the Mourinho one, and second, Gareth Southgate. If you're even bothered about national football, what an absolute rubbish decision he is. Nothing at Middlesbrough. He managed the under-21s. So did David Platt and Stuart Pearce, and they're crap. And now he's England manager. He's just a yes man who they can say, Gareth, go down the shop and get the milk and then make the tea, and he's going to do it for him, because that's what Southgate is. He's a yes man, and that's all England want. Because I tell you what England football team's all about, they make the most money out of any other national team, because as a brand, they are absolutely superb. They sell their own sticker book when it's FIFA World Cup. You don't get the proper England shirts or anything like that, because they've got their own sticker book. That's what they are. Money, 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 money. So if you want to ever consider being part of the England Football Club, or go and do that, save your money, because those gits don't deserve it. They're an absolute waste of time, and they are out of touch. But that's my rant about that. Ross, I'm going to let you get off because we're 8 minutes away, but I didn't know whether there was anything else you wanted to touch on. Hopefully you'll join me at half time.
No, Yeah, I'll join you at half-time, no problem. And, mate, I totally agree with your thoughts on the FA, and I think it'll only be a matter of time, or it'll probably be a matter of years until, they will get outed like FIFA for just being, like you say, archaic and way behind the time. But cool, I'll be on at half-time, mate.
Chance. Thanks, Ross. Nearly said Paul again. And on Twitter, you are at Hazza90.
Yeah, you remember it now. You remember me name and me tag. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, follow him on Twitter. He's very, very good. But yeah, I'll see you at half time, pal.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Cheers. Okay, so Ross is gone. Our guests are done for the hour before kickoff, and we move towards kickoff in about 8 minutes' time. Do join me for the. Well, you will join me because I'll be quiet for the minute silence for the Chappie Cohen side. Absolutely tragic and really important for United to react and do something as a club. We're all waiting for them to do something. I'm sure they will, especially with the likes of Sir Bobby, such an influential player at the club who was part of that Munich tragedy. I'm sure we will do something, but we will be doing something like I'm sure the rest of the world will be doing, which is a minute's silence tonight. Absolutely, it breaks your heart to think of a team just being wiped out like that, and what a team. And some of the pictures I've seen today, especially that cartoon of them getting their medals on the clouds as angels, just makes you feel just sad inside. And we as a club know more than anybody else what that's like. So yeah. Where's Mad Marcus tonight? Says Mark. You're there. You've just done your little comments. If you are new and you are going to subscribe to the channel, let us know and we'll let you know. I know we've got fans of other clubs. We always do have. Please do like the video. We tried to get 1,000 likes and we normally do it on a watch along. So please like the video because it's massively about you. Once the game kicks off, I want all your thoughts about how the game is going, who you think's doing well. If you've got any little funny analogies, we'll copy and paste them and we'll put them onto Twitter. So that's what the watch along is about. It's about you and your comments, and obviously I'll be giving you my thoughts on the game as it goes along. I need to set the timer up. But this is something that we do. It's a feature that we have whereby just below the 0-0 score, if I can get it to work, normally quite easy. In fact, if you refresh your screen, you should be able to see this. I think it's F5 or just go back and forward. You should see the clock ticking. Yeah, it's not 52 minutes and 17 seconds. I'll change that. Stop it, refresh it, start it. And it should come up on your screen. Yeah, so when the game kicks off, that's what will happen. So that will be coming up very soon. So you can sync in with us. However you're watching it, pause. Obviously there's going to be a slight delay because we're live. But the teams are coming out. Schweini on the bench, opinion mark, says Mokan. Obviously wasn't here at the start. I would love to have seen Schweinsteiger playing tonight. I think it's a real shame that he's not playing tonight. I don't see the point in playing Michael Carrick tonight because it's hard, isn't it? As I was saying this, I don't know whether anybody else agrees. The most important game for me this season was not this week out of these 3 games was beating West Ham in the league. And ridiculously, the most important player in making Manchester United win, no Carrick, no party, he played in the Europa League game and he's playing the League Cup game. And the league game he doesn't play in. So if he was actually injured on Sunday, which he might not have been, it might have just been because Carrick can only play 1 game a week. If he is carrying a knock, why is he playing 3 days later? I just think he shouldn't have played tonight. Let's keep him for Everton because that, we can. It's going to take a hell of a lot of work, but we can still do something in the league. I'm talking about 4th place and the title's gone. But you've got to beat Everton on Sunday. You've got to beat Spurs the week after. And to do that, you've got to play Carrick. And also, playing Schweinsteiger in a game like this, what if he played tonight and played absolutely brilliant? You've suddenly got another option, another leading option. Interestingly, looking at West Ham's team, it's not the same team as the other day, is it? They have made a couple of changes, although it's still quite a strong team. But they have made a couple of changes, which we haven't. We're probably stronger than we were on Sunday. It's really weird, but there you go. Mark, what do you think if we buy Willian Carvalho? I've been quite consistent about William Carvalho in the fact that he's been linked to United and Arsenal for probably 3 or 4 years now. And, my question is, why does nobody ever go and buy him? There's got to be a reason for that. I don't know. We've got, just very quickly before the game starts, and we're going to do the minute silence in a minute. But we've got 53,833 subscribers. If you've not subscribed to the United Stand, Let's see if we can get 54,000 whilst we're live on air, because that would be amazing. We want 1,000 likes on the video. That's your challenge through the game. But let's see if we can get 54,000 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed to the United Stand, it's free. It's the hologram in the bottom right-hand corner. Just click it, subscribe, and let's see if we can get 54,000 subscribers. That'd be great to do that live on air. Matweedy is better, says Dev the Darker. That would be great. We're about to do the minute silence, so I will be going quiet for a minute in memory of those who died for Chappie Cohen's, as I said a few minutes ago. Absolutely tragic. Not that any of us follow Brazilian football or anything like that. Why would we? But some of you may do. But that's not the point. It's a human story, and we all love football, and I think we all relate it to our club and what that must be like. It's to wipe out a whole team. I mean, I was talking to Drawty yesterday about it, and I basically said, almost in future, what will teams sort of charter 2 flights, so you put half a team on and half the other? I know it's like it happens hardly ever, but so sad. Anyway, minute silence about to start. Impeccably, as you would expect. We've been through it. Silence there from United. Obviously, David De Gea played with one of the players who died as well. So, and they showed pictures of Sir Bobby and everything. Massive sadness in relation to that. But death comes at you fast, and life goes on. They're two certainties, and they won't be forgotten, I'm sure. Thanks everybody for that. Some people are thinking it will go to penalties, but the game is actually off. That was a fast start, and it's caught me on the hop. So I've got to just start the game, kick off, timer, we're done. Okay, we're ready. Close that down, we're off. Manchester United off and running. I'm just having a very quick look to see if there's any clues as to anything different than what we thought. Mkhitaryan definitely playing on the right. We knew Rooney would play at 10, so Martial on the left. In fact, Rooney's playing slightly further forward at the moment as Zlatan gets hold of it. Be interesting to see if, I'm sure Rooney and Zlatan will just alternate with each other in that 9-10 position. I mean, Rooney, funnily enough, I suppose it's a reflection of Rooney at Manchester United now. Quite rightly, I think he is on the decline. It's not right that he's on the decline, but he is on the decline. I think a lot of people accept that, and he can still have a part to play at Manchester United. But he's not big news anymore, is he? We hardly spoke about him at all. I think it's right that he plays tonight, and I think he has shown slightly better form of recent times. But nice little link-up play. Martial missed the ball there to Zlatan, which is a shame. It was a good little bit of play there between Herrera, Rooney, and getting Mkhitaryan away to Martial, who actually had a pass that he should have played to get Zlatan in. But a decent sort of start. We've got, like I said, good ball in. Mkhitaryan, he needs. Oh, this would be a great goal. Score it, Zlatan. What a goal! What a goal! Made by Mkhitaryan. Zlatan's gone down injured. Rooney put Mkhitaryan through. Mkhitaryan with a little flick. That's sexy football. That's 1-0 to Manchester United. And that is what we want, everybody. Superb. Absolutely superb. And we're up and running. We're up and running. And it's a great goal. Let's watch it back. It dropped into Rooney, little pass through the gap into Mkhitaryan. Mkhitaryan runs towards Zlatan, little back heel, and Zlatan finishes and gets a kick to the knee for his troubles, which is not great, but on many levels, that goal is exactly what we want from our side, and hopefully he's not too badly injured. An early goal at Old Trafford is exactly what we need. What a goal. I'm just putting it up on Twitter. Mickey to Zlatan, 1-0. And hopefully he's alright. Yeah, he's up and running. 1-0. 1-0 to the lads. Update the scores on the doors. Come on. But that's what we've needed to do at Old Trafford. But I said it, we were all saying it. I saw it in the live comments as well. That's the sort of start we wanted. 2-2 for Zlatan and all these people who said he misses the most chances. We're all over West Ham at the moment. And it was never going to be that long until, early days. It's early days, but you already saw in the first 2 minutes Martial, Herrera, Rooney, Mkhitaryan looking like they're interchanging well with each other, looking fast. You give Zlatan chances, he'll score. And I think the good thing about that is it's Zlatan in a one-on-one situation, putting the ball away. And we're only, 3 minutes into the game. So really good start, and it is good play from the great. A good goal, says Categor HD. Hope we do this. Wish we'd done this on Sunday, says Anaban, which I agree. Good to hear about the goal, says Danielle. Really good goal. Bit of a mistake. Arsenal are losing 1-0 to Southampton as well. That'd be funny, but I'm sure Arsenal will probably put their reserves out. But Rooney's looking a bit better as well. He's just spread the play out to Valencia. It's his favourite ball. But I've been really impressed with Mkhitaryan against Feyenoord. He's picked it up again here. We're absolutely buzzing at them. Ref's just given a foul against Herrera. But we're picking up the ball. The goal was basically what we'd done for this first, what feels like 10 minutes, but it's only 4. Breaking up that midfield of West Ham, which isn't their first choice midfield, let's be honest. But breaking it up there, quick movement of the ball with the likes of Herrera. This was Rooney into Mkhitaryan. And they're sort of in a 2-on-2 situation, but brilliant. This is what Mkhitaryan's so good at football. He could go to the right and then try and feed Zlatan in, but what he actually does is he runs at Zlatan, allowing Zlatan to then go behind him, little back flick, it's one-on-one, it's brilliant football, and it's really intelligent between Mkhitaryan and Zlatan. Alex O'Donnell, I would love it if Southampton beat Arsenal. Good for Ibra too, says Roma Dude. Yep, definitely. The keeper was lucky though, that high foot to the knee of Zlatan, says Jivan. Yeah, I've just seen the replay of it, and Zlatan wasn't happy about it. I think he's 100% right not to be happy about it. It wasn't great, but we're moving the ball around really well at the moment. Very early days. Let's try and get a second goal. I think Herrera, though, I don't know what people think. I think Herrera plays better not as a number 10, not as a DM. He's better in that sort of box to box role, not having to play with the discipline. I think he can play DM, but I don't really think it's his position. I'd love Mkhitaryan to have another. Well, he's already, he was man of the match against Feyenoord. I thought we did okay in a difficult situation in the last 20 minutes against West Ham. And he started off really well here with another, assist. This is the thing about Mkhitaryan. If you followed him at Dortmund, his record for assists is huge. The trouble with West Ham at the moment is, for whatever reason, every kick out they're doing from the back is going to a United player, which is great, and then it's allowing us to play some good ball. And Rooney started off really well. This should be 2-0. He can put Mkhitaryan in here. I don't know why he didn't. Oh, Zlatan just missed 2 absolute. He probably should have put Mkhitaryan in. I don't know what people think there. Rooney did really well. Took it down and then played it through to Zlatan. Lovely. Zlatan needs to just pass it to Mkhitaryan. Uses the player as a shot and as another shot. I think he should have put Mkhitaryan in there. Should have been 2, says Kevin Storr. It should have been 2. Herrera's really on form. We're absolutely all over them like a fat kid on cake at the moment, which is good. It's good to see. It's good to see us playing some good football, but Zlatan should have had 2. West Ham are all at sea like a bunch of dolphins, but we need that second goal. We need a second goal. So very pleased with the start. I think one thing that I would say about this is, and we all will have to say it, won't we, is that this is a weakened West Ham side, and every kick out, although that one works, we should be beating them, and I'm sure we will win this game. I said that before. But it's the lot, you want to see Martial playing well, you want to see Zlatan playing well, you want to see Mkhitaryan playing well. It's 1-0 already. And Mickey needs to start in the league, says Jacob Smith. I think Mkhitaryan, the result on Sunday was really disappointing, but Mkhitaryan just needs to work his way back, work his way in, and playing this full game. He's used to European football. Playing against West Ham tonight will be good for him because it will get. It's not a league game, but it is an important game. It's in the safe confines of Old Trafford where he'll get the support. But he'll get used to physicality. And I think that's what Mourinho was sort of saying. He really wasn't used to the physicality needed in the Premier League. And he will see that tonight. And hopefully he'll play well because of it. Martial on a run here. This is what you want to see. Taken down, foul, brilliant. Hopefully book him. Went past 3 players. Martial's on fire as well. That's another player we want to see doing well. Where are all the West Ham fans gone now? I know we had some before the game started. But a very good and positive start, and that's what we want to see. Let's have a look what everyone's saying in the live comments. I thought that was a bit of a, not a cherry on the cake, but it was a nice little run there from Martial, which will give him confidence, and that's what we want to see from him. As we were saying before, it's odd that this team is actually well played, Phil Jones there. It's odd that this team is actually got, as a team, I think is better than the team that played on Sunday, because we actually have got proper width. Martial is a better left winger than Rashford, because Rashford's not a winger, and Mkhitaryan is obviously, whether you like Lingard or not, he's a better player than him. And it's good to see Rooney playing well as well. He has started off well. United will be a better team for having 15 players playing well. We know Matt has been good this season. We don't need him to play tonight to prove that. If Rooney plays well, it's more options. If everyone plays well tonight, Pogba's going to play on Sunday, isn't he? So, players will come back in. But it's good to have the options. Positive start. Hopefully we can continue like this, says Charlie French. And I think Michael Carrick, obviously, is a big, big, big difference, because what he can do from defensive midfield, and not many other people can do. He can find 30-yard passes into Rooney's feet, which is where we nearly scored the second goal from. Or he can, Martial can make a run and he'll find him. So I just hope, I want to win this. I think we got Hull in the League Cup semi-final as well. So over 2 legs, we're going to Wembley, aren't we? Because Mourinho won't take it lightly. He's proven that tonight. So he will play a strong team against Hull, and over 2 legs against a team like them, we should be winning that. So a trip to Wembley, and he'd want to win that as well. Just a cross from West Ham there. Valencia's dealt with it. He can feed Mkhitaryan. He's going to run it. Oh, lovely Megs. Megs by Mkhitaryan to get it back to Valencia. There's runners here. He's overhit that pass. Zlatan's not offside though. Cross comes in, defended well. All over them. I've said it before. All over them. Like Frank Lampard on a bucket of KFC. 11 minutes gone, and it's been very entertaining to watch. Mkhitaryan must start versus Everton, says Shane Bradley. But it's nice to see United playing well. Really enjoying it. Really enjoying it. The football's fast. The link-up play between Mkhitaryan and Valencia. Mkhitaryan and anybody has been brilliant. You've got Carrick running the strings. You've got Rooney playing quite well. Martial's had that run. Zlatan scored a goal. Herrera's doing well. Everything's looking great from an attacking sense. And that's the most important thing for United. You know, the defence may not be brilliant, but there's a break on here for West Ham, which is a bit of a problem. Very intelligent from Valencia, the way he's used that space there. And then Rojo gets back. Really intelligent from Valencia. We got stuck in a 2-1 situation, faced the goalkeeper and basically said, try and run past me with whatever you're going to try and do. And they stuttered and our players got back. A bit of a bad switch of the play by Rooney there. Martial kept it in but couldn't keep consistent. Mickey running the show, says Marcus X. 517 likes on the video. We want to hit 1,000. Come on, there's over 1,000 if you're watching the stream. Hit that like on the bottom of the screen. You're a massive part of this show. We can't do it without you. And this is the only video I really care about getting over 1,000 likes on, because massively about you. Faguli awful, says Grosses. Side netting cross. No, it's gone for a corner. Antonio's a very good player for West Ham. You know, I did say it on Sunday. When he hits form, and I think he had a bad start to the season for West Ham, but he's a very, very good player. And they've done a similar thing to what we've done with Valencia there. They've put him as a right back. He's not a right back. He used to play on the wing, but a very, very good player. Mickey needs to start a bit like Payet. You know, two good players. I wouldn't say I'd welcome Antonio to United. I don't know whether he's that sort of level. I'd have Payet any day of the week. Oh, Valencia, I think he's overhit this, but he's going to run with it. What a player he is at the moment, Valencia. Still going. Loving it. He's just loving life. Running. He's like Forrest Gump. Martial past the player. It's got to be a foul. Is it in the box? It's on the edge of the box. It's a yellow card. Martial's playing brilliant as well. Stood Obiang up. Went past him in the box. Just outside the box the foul was. But brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And where it just shows you what confidence, the right mentality does. You know, Martial's sort of been in and out of the team. He's been trying these sort of things for weeks. He's tried 2 things today, and it's working. He's got that little, you know, whatever. I did say this about Mourinho though, and this is where my sympathy with Memphis disappears, because it's like Mkhitaryan, you know, frozen out, comes back playing brilliant. I know it's only 10 minutes, but Martial sort of frozen out, comes back playing well. If you work hard, you will get into this team. And I think hopefully we're gradually getting there. Rooney free kick. I think the keeper's just palmed it wide. I think he did go for goal. There are 1,700 of us. If we each hit the like button, then we're done. We're at 681 at the moment. Some of the best football I've seen. I really love watching United when it's like this, and we've been starved of it for so long. I know it's only the League Cup, and I know West Ham aren't playing their full strength side, but you know what? At the bare minimum, it's confidence for United, and free kick. You know, even Rooney's dead ball situations seem to be a lot better as well, which is good. But you can only beat what's in front of you, and we haven't been doing that, especially at Old Trafford. So, you know, be good positive for us to win this game if we can. And hopefully we'll see a lot more of these players like Luke Shaw, Martial, Mkhitaryan. I think they can all be good enough. Martial needs to be consistent, says Oreo Gameplay. I agree with that. $53,905 subscribers we've got. We're trying to hit 54,000 by the end of the game. So if you are new to the United Stand or you haven't subscribed, please click that subscribe button. It's in the bottom right corner hologram. Let's get 54,000 while we're live on air. That'd be brilliant. And thanks for everybody who is commenting and getting involved. We do these shows because you ask us to. We didn't used to do them. and they've been really successful. If you're new to the United Stand, we do loads of live content, not just watch-alongs. Sunday Night Live at 8:30, cross in there from West Ham. We always look weak when it comes to crosses in the box. I think Xhaka was on about before the game, would you like to see Lindelof? Oh, Martial's on the break here. Excitement. He's going to run at his man. It's opened up for him. Oh, it just bobbled slightly just as he was about to hit it. It would have been a bloody brilliant goal. It's exactly how I use Martial on FIFA. Just get him cut out on the left, cut inside. Terrified of him. Just watching it back again. Runs at his man. Comes inside. Just about to hit it and just gets underneath it. In fact, the way he's hit it, it's perfect. It's going for the top corner. It's just about 10 yards too high. But it's good, positive. That's what we want to see. Simon Wright, 20-year-olds aren't going to be consistent though. Very good point. Manchester United fans, Martial is so good on the ball at that speed, which he is. Johnny Blaze, 23. Martial can't shoot. He can. He just got to use it. We're playing so well, says Tahir. West Ham are on the slight, not on a break, but they've got Antonio, who's their threat on the right. He's found somebody in the box for West Ham, who is offside. We'll take the ball back. Tonio Martial has nobody scored. We've got the jokers on the comments at the moment. Draw for semis later tonight, says Nathan Harper. Okay. I thought we got drawn against Hull for some reason, but we obviously haven't. It's a draw. The draw is later. You know what? I'd love to get Liverpool. I'd bloody love to get Liverpool in the semis if we get through. Arsenal, not so much so. We've played them already. Liverpool are the one I want. 2 legs in January. Let's derail their League Cup form, their league run at least. See if they play the kids then. Roma dude's just on about Carrick. Not many know and accept that he's a brilliant midfielder. I think you're spot on. I think it's inexcusable, but I think you've got a little bit of an excuse if you don't follow United. I think for any United fan not to realise what Carrick does after all these years is ridiculous. Literally, for a decade, has run the team. Even Scholes said it when he played with him. You know, he preferred to play with Carrick than Keane, not because, you know, if there's one player I could bring back, it'd be Roy Keane because we miss a leader and he was a superb midfielder. But I think what Scholes is basically saying that when he played with Carrick, it was like it made his job easier because Carrick would just sit there, whereas Roy Keane was more of a dynamic midfielder. Jake Warner saying who's our most consistent player. I think that's the problem with United this season. You know, the reason we're not up there is because we're struggling for consistency. Be good to see Martial and Shaw linking up well. Rooney taking the opportunity to put a cross in. That's what you've got to do more of with Zlatan. We need Matuidi alongside Pogba, says Matthew Kleck. Trouble with Matuidi is I think he would have been a good signing in the summer because he's 29. We won't get him in January because PSG are in the Champions League, obviously. If we wait till next summer, he's 30, and I think you'd have lost a year there. Arsenal are losing 1-0. Yeah, so that going back to that point there, I think our most consistent player of the year is very, very difficult. You'd have to say Mata, Bay before he got injured, Carrick when he plays, and potentially Herrera. I think every other player, whether through it's not playing or, you know, injuries or whatever, we've not really had enough consistent performers. You know, Zlatan's not been consistent, Rooney hasn't, Mkhitaryan hasn't, Martial hasn't, Rashford hasn't. Pogba hasn't really been consistent yet. He's had good games and, you know, okay games. So, looking at the United bench there, they're all very cold. It is very cold in the UK at the moment. The lineup, Zachary, is going on the screen at the bottom there for you. Perfectly timed. De Gea, Valencia, Jones, Rojo, Shaw, Carrick, Herrera, Rooney, Mkhitaryan on the right, Martial on the left, and Zlatan up front. And it's 1-0 thanks to Zlatan with a brilliant assist from Mkhitaryan, who was fed by Rooney, and it should have been 2-0. Rooney feeding Zlatan again, went for it, and had 2 shots. 2 bites of the cherry, missed them both. And I think that's the problem with Zlatan at the moment. He scored well tonight, but he just needs to be putting those chances away more. Which is probably why Mourinho's played him tonight, because he wants him to get some goals. $53,950 subscribers. We're only 50 short. If you haven't done it yet, come on, we can do it. We can do it for half time. Rooney's just to kick the ball out of play, so that's why I'm just talking about that. 757 likes. Oreri, or however you sound it. Christian Haas says Areria for right back. Maybe in the summer. He's not allowed even into the country at the moment because of his criminal proceedings. Here we go. Mkhitaryan lays it off. Herrera, I think that was going in. It was a good block by the West Ham defender. It looked to me like it was arrow into the top corner. It would have been another assist. It's a good game though. It's very open. Ashley Fletcher's just going up against Rojo here. Good tackle by Rojo. Ross is just saying Mkhitaryan on fire. And Rooney looks sharp as well, which he does. You know, Rooney's looking probably better than I've seen him in 2 years, which is, again, just shows you Mourinho and what he can do. Mata's looked better than he ever did under Van Hal and Moyes. Herrera definitely as well. And Rooney seems to have got the bug, which is good, because whatever you think about Rooney, and, you know, he probably would be a player I'd be looking to get rid of because he's coming towards the end of his career. That's not going to happen. So we may as well... You know, you want Rooney to be playing well because he's always going to be playing for United while he's here. And I'd rather have him playing like he is tonight than he has done for the last 2 years. Lovely little reading of the play by Phil Jones there. Bit of a bad ball, which is a shame. Disgruntled blogger, if Owen Hargreaves wasn't so injury prone, do you think Carrick would still be at the club? Well, Hargreaves played at right back, didn't he? A lot. We used him as a right back, and Carrick still played in the midfield. So yeah, I think Carrick. I think Sir Alex Ferguson was always fully aware of the importance of Michael Carrick at Manchester United. So and Hargreaves was a good player, but we played him at right back quite a lot. Southampton are 2-0 up against Arsenal. I don't know what the Arsenal lineup is. If anybody wants to go and do a little bit of research on that, they can do. But I would imagine that looking at the Southampton scorers, although Classy doesn't normally start for them. I know he came on at the weekend for them, but it'd be funny if Arsenal get knocked out. Be another cup they're not going to win this year. I'd like us to win the FA Cup this year. I really loved us winning the FA Cup last year, but there was just a massive part of me that was concerned about if we win it, Van Hal will stay. So I was really pleased that we won it. I would like to win it again though, and really enjoy it. But we're moving the ball around a lot better. I mean, this is the thing, you know, we get a lot of stick, and I don't think it's certainly not from United fans. We get a lot of stick, but as United fans, the frustrating thing is we should have way more points than we've got, because it's not like we've been drawing games and they've been equal. We've been the better team in 4 league games at home now and taken 4 points from 12, which is shocking. But, you know, we could have had 12 from 12 and nobody would have argued about it. But we know that the football's been really good. The football is probably the best football. Certainly, here we go, that should have been a goal. I don't know what Mickey was doing. Carrick. Oh, he probably should have hit that, Mickey. It was a good cross by Valencia. We're playing on. Zlatan. Oh, what's he kicking out for? No, you don't do that, Zlatan. Don't do that. But yeah, the football we've seen from United, and I think in the last 2 months especially, and especially at Old Trafford, which is ridiculous that we haven't scored as many as we have. Payet who went down. That's probably why he put the ball out. I think he's hurt his thigh. I don't like that from Zlatan. This is Manchester United. We've got to win games. We don't need to kick the ball out unless the referee tells us to do it. You know, I don't like it. I know some people say it's good gamemanship, but this is the best football we've seen from United. I'll get there in the end. In the last 3 years, definitely better than anything Van Hal did. Definitely better than anything Moyes did. And to be honest, for anyone who can remember that season where we won the league with Sir Alex and RVP, the football wasn't that good that year. We ground out results, and Van Persie was brilliant. So I think this is some of the best football we've probably seen in the last 4 years at United. Griezmann new signing, says Ben Setchell. I think we would have to get Champions League football for him to come. Kane, Pogba. I've not heard this about Obi Mikel from Chelsea coming to United, but there's a few of you mentioning it. I don't want him anywhere near United. We had him at United, and he screwed us over to go to Chelsea. And I don't think he's been that good at Chelsea, so I wouldn't want Mikel at United. No, I don't think he's better than Carrick. He's not better than Herrera. He's not better than Schweinsteiger. I don't think he's better than Schneiderlin, to be honest. Don't know what you lot think. Go Martial, go, says Vikramjit. Sorry. We need another goal, says Joseph Napier. I think we do. This is the football we expect, says A. Birch. We're ahead where I don't mind it. Good sportsmanship. If we're behind or drawn, it would have been different, says Dev Dadaka. Arsenal playing a weaker team, Mark, says Star Blogger. I suspect that they may well do. The thing about the League Cup now is basically it does lead to congestion. We're going to struggle. We are going to struggle when it comes to the league because it does lead to congestion. You know, the final, presuming we got to the final, is in February. That was nearly 2-0. Good cross by Rooney, and it was Martial going for it. I'd love Martial to get a goal tonight. I think it'd be so good for his confidence. The final, obviously the 2 legs are in January, which is, you know, it's a lot of football in January. The final's in February, which is a Premier League weekend, so that game has to be replayed. Then we're going to have all the Europa League game. But we have got a big squad. If everyone starts playing well, we have got a big squad. Joseph Napier says we should sign Payet. He's the one player I probably would take from West Ham who I think who could offer us something. Having said that, Raymond Ferres says, like I just said a minute ago, I'd love to see a goal from Martial. Going to be a big talent of the future. Martial is the guy for back past Jones. Laugh out loud. Lovely ball by Mkhitaryan. A few people were disappointed that we let Ashley Fletcher go, actually, to West Ham. But, you know, we're on the break again here. Come on, Zlatan. He'll play Rooney in. Shoot! Ah, oh. Mkhitaryan. Martial. Ah. Oh. So we're on the break here. He's got Mkhitaryan running one side, he's got Rooney the other, and it sort of opens up for a bit. But he shoots just outside the box, good block. Then Mkhitaryan's in the box, passes it to Martial, and there's a difficult chance. I think he should have hit it harder and higher. I'm predicting 3-1, says Raymond Ferris, which is what I went with. Would you take Benzema over Ibra? I probably would, because he's quicker, but we're not going to do that. Roberto Bezic, my question is Bazagli or Carrick. Love your channel, Mark, by the way. I'm going to be honest, I don't know anything about Bazagli, so maybe tell us a little bit about him. Zlatan has no bit vision, says Manchester United fans. He does. I know what you're saying, though. He has had a couple of opportunities today where he could have fed Mkhitaryan in, and he could have fed Mkhitaryan or Rooney in there, but it did open up for him, and I think the opportunities sort of went. How is Rooney running this fast? Has been saving his energy levels for 2 years, says Givan. Well, it's interesting because it was I think it was last season, our quickest player was Rooney. I don't think he is our quickest player, but measured on the Opta stats, he'd had the quickest sprint in the whole season. So yeah, Rooney doesn't come across as that, but he is quite fast. I've tuned into every stream this season except Europa League games. Love it, says Raymond Ferris. Thank you. 821 likes, so we're closing in on 1,000, which would be great. Leighton Bevan, this must be the most. We're just on an attack here. Zlatan, Rooney, shoots, blocked. Of course, Rooney's only 1 goal away. He could get it tonight. He is going to get it. Zlatan refusing to pass to Martial, says Jonathan Black. Maybe. I've not picked up on that. I'll keep an eye on. But the previous comment, it must be the most asked thing we get across the United stand. Who's your favourite United player? And it's always different people asking it. So it must be one of those questions. And as I keep saying, I think Martial and Mkhitaryan and Pogba have got the potential to be my favourite Manchester United player. But they need that consistency. So at the moment, my favourite United player is Marcus Rashford. I don't think he's having a very good season. I think he's being misused. But he's from the youth system. The way he burst on the scene not even a year ago was so exciting. I think he's a brilliant player. I just think he's being played out of position. He's a young lad and he's come through the youth system. And for me, that's what Manchester United's all about. That's why I was a bit moany before the kickoff talking about the team news, because I think Fosu Mensah should be playing tonight. He should be involved. That's what United's all about. But that's my personal stance when I'm about United. The youth is very important to me and I want to see youth players coming through. Any day of the week I would want a youth player rather than a £100 million player. Some people would prefer the £100 million player. There's nothing wrong with that. But my personal preference is I'd rather we had a team of youth than a team of superstars, Galacticos, whatever. The ideal is to have a mix. So yeah, Rashford's my favourite. I'd like to see him come on tonight for probably the last 20 minutes or half an hour up front, because that's his position. And I think with the likes of Martial and Mkhitaryan and Rooney playing like they are tonight, we'd be able to stretch this West Ham side. Good tackle by Luke Shaw there. Good, this is the thing. People have been moaning about players missing out, but the confidence levels of them. Brilliant by Martial. Rooney. Zlatan. Oh, what a goal it would have been. Maybe should have gone for Mkhitaryan, but brilliant play by Luke Shaw. Tackle on the left. Bombing up the left-hand side. Delaying the pass to Martial, who again delayed and committed the defender to play the pass to Rooney. And then Rooney, he could have given it to Mkhitaryan, but the left-back was well positioned. It nearly worked to Zlatan, in fairness. If we didn't get Zlatan for free, I would be more critical, says Alex O'Donnell. Good point. Luke Shaw looks quite bulky now, says Mad Marcus. He is quite bulky. You know what? He's over 6 foot as well. But it might be a bit like Rooney. You can't argue. You can't do anything about genetics. I think Luke Shaw is a bit bulky. But shot 1-1. Oh, De Gea, head not on the game. 1-1. Just a nothing shot. Lack of concentration from De Gea, and it's 1-1. And it's a real shame that. Gifted. Don't deserve it either. Undeserved leveller. Just tweeting it, and I'm just going to say it on here that I've just basically said, lack of concentration by Dave, undeserved leveller, which it certainly was. However, I'm sure a lot of you have realised it as well. His mate did die in the plane crash yesterday, so he looked very upset before. Goalkeeping is all about concentration, especially when you've got nothing to do. Maybe Romero should have played tonight. And I did go with 3-1. I mean, Legend of the Game has just said De Gea idiot there. I think if you know the full story, you'd never call him an idiot anyway. But he has made 1 or 2 mistakes this season, which is a shame. But I'd question whether he should have even played tonight. Football isn't that important. There's a dive. I think Valencia might get booked. No way. Okay. Ignore the last few years. De Gea has been our best player this season. He's been terrible. De Gea's been done by that shot twice this season, the other against Stoke, says the troll. Yeah, good point. Joe Budder, all this confidence crap talk. Don't know what you've got to extend on that. Bring back Ferguson. Hammers will win. Subscribe and I have, says it's Luke245. Come on United. Ibrahimovic is so frustrating. Twice he's had an opportunity to pass clear to Martial and Mickey and he hasn't. That's from Laura King, which I'd agree with. I'll only like if United score again, says Billy Summers. Michael Fraser, shut up kid. I didn't see what he said. Marcus saying De Gea shouldn't have played if that's true. It is true. There was a lad he played with at Atletico Madrid. He was on the plane yesterday in Brazil for the Brazilian side in the crash in Colombia. So that is the truth. And he looked, he tweeted about it yesterday. Anybody who follows him on Twitter, and he looked very upset today. People having a pop at De Gea on Twitter. I just, sorry I went quiet there. I never fail to. I don't know whether people are on Twitter, but there's some brilliant people on Twitter. But unfortunately, there's some absolutely vile people as well. Never fails to disappoint me in humanity. But yeah, Valencia booked. He was always sort of on the edge of a booking. Who scored for West Ham? Let me know. I'm just updating the score. I'm always slow when the opposition score. I'm not going to apologise for it. I'd be more stressed if it was a league game. The league's where it begins and ends with me. But we can come back into this game, and if we're going to be tested, I would rather we got tested in a League Cup game. It's the least of our priorities when you think about it. I want us to win, but I've updated the score. I just need to know who scored for West Ham so I can put their score in. Martial shouldn't be trying to beat players there, to be honest. He's done well though, really well, and it's our ball. Fletcher scored for them. That's annoying. He'll love that. We just got to go again. I mean, we should, the thing is though, even when we do score at home, we take an early lead, we then get another chance to put the game to bed, Zlatan, and we don't put it to bed. And then a mistake, which can always happen in football, it is frustrating, but it can always happen. And undeservedly, 1-1. Undeservedly, how many games have we drawn this season? That ball by Mkhitaryan to Zlatan, by the way, there was nothing wrong with it. He's just dead on he's just not anticipating it. Ashley Fletcher, loads of you telling me Ashley Fletcher scored. Thanks, I've updated it. So we're fast approaching half time. We'll get Ross back on at half time. But Sacco Brew, ex-Man United player, says Neil Wilson. Yeah, we were talking about him, weren't we? But so it looks like we might be having... Oh, well done, everybody. We've hit 54,000 subscribers. So at least that's a positive while we're live on air. In fact, for anybody who saw me yesterday on the preview with the new United Stand jumpers we've got, they're not for sale yet because we are going to actually do a giveaway. We'll be doing that on the Watchalong on Sunday. I think we're going to have a couple to give away in different colours. So do watch and join us for that. Just watching the goal back again. It's Payet. To be fair though, the shot's taken and there's 3 West Ham players following in There's only one other. I mean, Fletcher enjoyed it. It's like he's scored at the cup final, but I suppose, you know, he's been sold by United. It's probably his dream club, isn't it? And you can't knock the lad, I suppose. But it just shows this is football for you, isn't it? This is football. For all your endeavour, if you don't take your chances, you don't get what you deserve in football. And good interception by Carrick. He'll feed Martial. Martial's got his man on here. He'll cut inside. He's played it at the wrong time for Rooney, which is a shame. And Coyote's just walked away from Rooney like he's not there. I mean, that's the bad side of Rooney. I think he's played quite well today, but he got a bit mugged off there. And the worrying thing is, from a high of being 1-0 and maybe should have been 2-0, it started to drop off a little bit, and with that drop off, Martial's form started to drop off, and that's not what we want to see. Joe Buddha says, I will not subscribe here, although I'm a hardcore Man United fan. Bit of an odd thing, especially if you're taking the time to watch the stream, but and it's free. But whatever, mate, whatever. We have to win this match, says Sam Admir. Well, somebody will win this game because it will go to penalties. If not, a lot of you were saying before that you think it will go to penalties, actually. I hope not. Pogba's suspended, Cole Hagland. Roberto Bezic says it will be 2-1 to West Ham. I think I'd be amazed on the balance of this game if we manage to lose it, but nothing amazes me with United at home anymore. I think we'll win it. Mkhitaryan doesn't compare to Payet, and I'm a Chelsea fan, says Get Low. Mkhitaryan's been better than Payet in this game. All Payet's done in this game is have a long shot that David De Gea spilled. Yeah. I'd take Mkhitaryan over Payet any day of the week, but I can throw it out to you if you want to think about that. Louise O'Donoghue, Pogba is suspended. Cheers from Portugal, says Bernardo. Who would you like to see United sign in January, says Daniel Bryce. West Ham are about to make a substitution. I was thinking about it today. We've got to sign a centre-back, and what's encouraging for me is that there's actually bloody loads of centre-backs we could sign. There's the lad at Roma, the German player, I can't remember what his name is. There's Lindelof at Benfica. There's Socrates, there's Howardez. There's Van Dijk. So there's a good selection of centre-backs that we could go and sign. I think we'll buy one. I'd like us to go and spend a bit of money on somebody like a Lozano or a Willian as well, someone like that. Gaming Bros says, come on Man U, and Patsan Kask says, wish Man U the best. Pogba is worthless, says Jarrett Tan. Payet is way better, says Thomas Sear. Payet one season wonder. Payet overrated. Hey Mark, says Holmster TV. We need Coke for the perfect Spanish midfield, says Man on Fire. Rudiger, Senzo says it's Rudiger. That's the lad at Roma. I think we just need to get not our foot on the ball, but just keep hold of the ball a little bit better. We're fast approaching half time here. Rooney to Mkhitaryan. It's not a great pass, but he's kept hold of it, and now Rooney's got it back. And Rooney tries an early cross, and it's over Martial, and that'll kill it. I wonder why Zlatan's not in the box. When is Pogba back? Mark says Riaka will be back on Sunday against Everton because he's only suspended for one game. It's just because he got 5 yellow cards. Good play by Luke Shaw. I mean, my concern is when I look at the bench, you've got Rashford and Lingard on there. I just hope he doesn't do what he did against Arsenal and sub Martial off after 60 minutes, because I think Martial just needs a confidence, and I think he's done all right in this game. And I think Martial's made a good run there, but Zlatan's just not got the vision to play it. Mkhitaryan and Rooney have swapped over at the moment. He's gone centrally, and Rooney's gone out to the right. And we do that a lot, which is good. It's good to have that interchanging. Herrera into Rooney. Tried to play Mkhitaryan in, but West Ham are now. Valencia tackled. Throw in. Manolas, Rudiger, Griezmann, Matuidi, says Kane Pogba. Well, we won't get Griezmann and we won't get Matuidi in January. That's not good for Mkhitaryan to be shoved off the ball like that, and he's given a foul away. So that will just feed the critics about Mkhitaryan, and it will put it into Mourinho's mind. He's too lightweight, which is a shame. You know, he's got the ball, gets shoved off the ball. He's got to be stronger. Anton Olsen says, "Can Mark hate Zlatan anymore?" This, if you've been watching the United stand since the summer, after every Sweden game in the summer, I did Zlatan watch videos. I bloody love Zlatan. He's a brilliant player, and I really, really like him. I'm not against him. I will just say what I think. And I think as a link-up player, he's not that good. He should be sticking in the box. Like, Rooney put that cross in for Martial then, and that's, you know, Zlatan should be in the middle. Happy with the half? Yes, I'm happy with the half. I thought we played some really good football, especially Herrera and Rooney and Mkhitaryan, and Martial was exciting me. I think he faded a little bit. I hope he gets another half. I don't want to see him getting taken off after half an hour, after 60 minutes, because I think he did quite well. But it's typical of United. We know we got that first goal from Zlatan, and it was a good goal. It was a well-worked goal. And straight after, a similar sort of run-up, you know, Rooney, Mkhitaryan, all involved again. Zlatan gets 2 bites of the cherry. He doesn't score. And that's the problem with United. Even when we get that early 1 goal and we go ahead, we don't take the second goal. And we should have done. We should have been 2-0 and out of sight. And then 1-0. 1-0's a dangerous score, as we all know. They have a shot. They score from it. And you know, it is a De Gea mistake, but I do think you have to take into account that, you know, it's difficult for him with his ex-Atletico Madrid player, colleague dying, and is his head with the game, although he has done it already a couple of times this season. Can you hear me, Ross?
Yeah, I do, mate.
I'm good, thanks. What's your thoughts on the game?
Do you know what? It's same old Man United at the end of the day. You know, fantastic football. Everyone's playing really well, and we can't convert chances. And you know, it's sloppy mistakes at the back again. I mean, David De Gea, one of our best player for the last 3 years, you know, making a mistake, and it's the same story. But I can't help but, you know, be positive, because the football has been fantastic. It's football that I haven't seen at Man United for 3 years, and it's come back. So I can't help but be positive, because for the first time in a long time, I've sat there and I'm enjoying a Manchester United game again.
Yeah, I agree. A slight negative, and a very typical negative, and I'd hate to go back to Mourinho's original press conference that we won't be getting so many injuries under him. Luke Shaw's going off at half-time and Daley Blind's coming on, which is just typical, because Luke Shaw had played really well, and apparently he's got another niggle, and Daley Blind is warming up. So it just shows you, doesn't it, that, you know, it's just typical of our season that happens. And I don't know what you thought about. I thought Martial had such a good first 20 minutes. He was running at them, and then he just seemed to have a bad last 10 minutes. And you just worry that bad last 10 minutes will be the memory of Mourinho as he pulls him off on 60 minutes and puts Rashford on the left wing, which is not what we want to see. But yeah, you know, I thought it was really. I agree with you. I thought Rooney especially, Mkhitaryan and Martial looked so good. I think, you know, I'm a massive fan of Zlatan. Somebody said I hate Zlatan, which is absolute nonsense. But I think he's probably the issue in that game, because we should have been 2-0 up, and it's his. Although he scored the first one, I think he had a really good chance. But we also had other chances where I think if he'd played the right pass, we might have been 2-0 up. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Well, do you know, one thing I saw from Hesham on Twitter was the fact that Zlatan wasn't passing, and I don't think the pass. I thought the passing was the wrong option in them scenarios, because the wingers created the runs, took the defenders with them, and it just opened
especially
up.
Especially that shot
Zlatan
from outside the box. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but he didn't convert the chance, and that's the problem. I think he wasn't being greedy in shooting, because he made the right decision, because you just saw it. I mean, the wingers were fantastic taking their runners away, but he should be converting them chances, and we forget he's supposed to be one of the best finishers in Europe, and hands down, if we'd have given that to, you know, Messi, Aguero, Suarez, Neymar, Ronaldo, that'd be in the back of the net. And Ibrahimovic is spoken of the same light as them players, and you know, it should be, like you say, 3 or 4-0. But it's not just Ibrahimovic. It's Martial's had chances as well, but as I say, I don't want to be too negative because the football's fantastic, and I hope.
I'll read you this just to get your thoughts on it. You might have read it in the team in our little United Stand group anyway. But Alex has just said he's effing fuming. How can this keep happening? Trashing fucking pub teams and they score their one chance. Disgraceful. So he's obviously not very happy. I mean, I'm not. I said before, my priority is the league, and the League Cup is below the FA Cup and the Europa League. So I'm not as stressed as I would be if it was a league game. I think I would share that frustration that some United fans have. I'm totally confident that we'll come back and win this game because I do agree we're just miles ahead of West Ham. We're just not clinical as a team. That's the problem with United at the moment, and we just we need to be more clinical. Zlatan had the best chances. He scored the first one. I thought it was brilliant set-up play. He had Martial's had a couple of chances as well. We just need to be clinical. There's been a bit of bad finishing, and West Ham's goal. I mean, what can you say?
Well, do you know what? West Ham's goal was a David De Gea mistake, but I'll stand by it. I mean, Rojo has had a fantastic game, and Joe's played quite well as well. But I still think we're never going to keep clean sheets with Rojo and Jones as our centre backs, regardless of how well they play. And that sounds horrible, but that's just the fact of it, and we're in desperate need of strengthening in that area. But we need to revert back to the United of about 7 years ago, or even the Liverpool team of about 3 years ago, where we're just going to have to outscore teams, because I don't think defensively we're going to keep clean sheets, which is where we have the creativity to outscore players, so outscore teams. So we just need to make sure we convert these chances. So that's just where it comes down to. But this, like I say, so many positives. We've seen the Martial of last season for 20 minutes, and boy was he fantastic for 20 minutes. And it's if we can get Martial firing again, if Mkhitaryan was fantastic again, it's like having two brand new signings into this team, and it means that we don't have to play Rashford on the left, and we don't have to play Lingard on the right, and that's all we want as United fans. And do you know what? The cherry on the cake for me would be to see Schweinsteiger come on after 60 minutes. I would love it.
Yeah, well, I forgot about that. I'll believe it when I see it. What I would say is, though, obviously De Gea, like against Stoke, unfortunately, he is culpable. I personally don't think he should be playing tonight. I think when one of your former colleagues, has died in a plane crash like that, maybe he probably shouldn't be playing, because goalkeeping is all about concentration, especially when you've had nothing to do. However, when I'm watching the goal back now, when they're actually showing it now, Payet shoots. There's 4 West Ham players closer to that ball, and there's 1 United player following in. You've got to follow in a shot. There's no, you can't play offside when a shot's been taken. There's no point standing still, because if it bounces off a post or it bounces off the keeper like that, your job as a defender is to follow it in. And it's quite telling that the only person following it in is Luke Shaw. Where's Jones and Rojo? And I think that's what you're getting at. They're both playing well, but at their best, they're probably at a FIFA player of 80, and we need a FIFA player. We need a FIFA player of 90, and that's what a better standard of defender will do. They'll follow that in. And I don't like John Terry, but he would follow that in. You can't just have one Luke. You can't have 4 West Ham players following that in, and 1 United player. A defender's got to follow it in. And I totally agree that it's De Gea's fault. He should deal with it better. But defenders have got to follow that in. As soon as that's hit and it's past you, you've got to be running back, because there's not going to be an offside after that point.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, to be honest. But it's quite good of Ashley Fletcher to follow it in, because if I was a West Ham striker and you've got David De Gea in goal, and there's a shot going right at him, I mean, I put my house on him not spilling it. So it was it was a shock goal. I mean, I can't believe it, but I don't know. I don't think you watched the games with the sound on, but I mean, the West Ham's chanting was laughable, and the response that Man U fans come back with was 10 out of 10, absolute 10 out of 10.
I didn't. The game, just a few people on the live comments there, the game will go to extra time and penalties, so we can't draw this. There will be a winner, and we've come this far, we may as well win it. I just need to pop for a very quick toilet break, because I do sit here for the whole time. So I want to ask Ross very quickly, 1, who you think's going to come on in the second half, and 2, who you'd like to see come on, because I'm sure he will use at least 2 of those substitutions, and I've got my thoughts, so I won't be listening to yours, and I'll come back and tell you mine, and we'll see if the viewers agree, or whether there's any comparity in what we think.
Well, I'm almost absolutely certain that he will put on Rashford for Martial, which I totally disagree with, because I believe Martial should go on as a striker. I believe Zlatan should come off, about 60 minutes, but, like I said, I don't think he will. If it was me, I'd actually put on Schweinsteiger, because it's what United fans want to see. We want to see the German wizard back. So that's the sub I'd make, Schweinsteiger for Carrick, because it'll also rest Carrick for the game on the weekend, which is huge for it. It's, a lot of United's football has been created by our, front 5 or front 4, moving about, but they have that freedom because they have a player like Michael Carrick who can just sit at the back and soak pressure up and play forward passes, which goes unnoticed. So, yeah, I'd definitely put Schweinsteiger on, and I'd put Rashford on, but I'd play him up front as opposed to putting him on the wing for Martial, but I can guarantee you Mourinho will, take Martial off, and I disagree with it because I think we've seen a lot from Martial. I'd also maybe like to see Mkhitaryan come off, and this is not because of the way he's playing, and I think he's been absolutely fantastic. It's again big game on the weekend, and I'd like to see these players rested so they actually play on the weekend as opposed to playing 90 minutes today and not playing on the weekend. Now we're going to hear what Mark thinks. What would you make, Mark, as subs?
Well, I don't know what you've said yet, so I'll quickly say mine, and then you can tell me if they're any different. I would play. I would bring. I would bring Rojo. I'd bring Rashford on for Zlatan without a question. And I would also be bringing Schweinsteiger on. I think, why not? And who else is on the bench? Yeah, I'm not interested in anybody else coming on, really. Don't see the maybe bring. No, I don't want to change the wide men at any stage. I think 90 minutes for Mkhitaryan and Martial is imperative. Maybe bring Batter on at some point for Rooney. But yeah, they're the 3 subs I'd be looking to make. Well, I don't know what yours were. What I think he will do very quick. Go on, sorry.
You're bang on.
Is that what you did?
Yeah.
What I think he will do, and I don't know whether you said it, what I think he will do is I think he will take Martial and Mkhitaryan off before 70 minutes, which will make me cry. I think if he's going to bring any midfielder on, he'll bring Schneiderlin on, and I think he'll probably bring Rashford and Lingard on the wings. That's what I think he will do, and I don't think any of us will be happy with it.
Yeah, I agree. That's one thing I did say. I wouldn't be opposed to bringing Mkhitaryan off actually after that time, because the weekend's the big game for me, and I think Mkhitaryan, just based on even the first 5 minutes, has got to start that game. So I'd like to see him come off. I'd like to see anyone that's at risk of not starting because of playing too many minutes today come off, because I think that's a bigger game. And yeah, I think he'll put Rashford on the left, and we all don't want to see it, but I just think he will, and there's not really a lot we can do about it, to be honest. But yeah, I'd play Rooney for 90 minutes, and I'd play Martial for 90 minutes, because I feel like Martial is a player kind of like Pogba that can quite easily take 90 minutes, even when he's a little bit out of form, because he's got the physique for it. And I think he could just take minutes on himself. That's my opinion.
Okay, well, we're nearly back starting the second half, so I'll let you join back on the game, Ross. But thanks very much for watching, and hopefully we can turn it around in the second half, which I think you surely think we will do.
Definitely. Cool. Cheers, Mark.
See you in a bit, pal.
Thanks, Mark. Cheers, mate.
Let me just shut down Skype for you. I mean, of course, the other flip side of the coin with the goal, where I was saying that everybody should have followed in, which I think they should have done, is that it wouldn't surprise me if Mourinho said that it was Luke Shaw's fault for not playing offside, which is ridiculous in all honesty. But just setting everything up. We are about second half. I always am quite negative when it comes to Martial and Mkhitaryan, because I just want them to keep playing. I think they're brilliant players, and I always think that he's going to sub them. So hopefully I will be wrong on that. I would absolutely love to see Schweinsteiger come on the pitch. I think that'd be absolutely fantastic. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Martial to score 2, says Raymond Ferris. Daily Blind is... Oh, obviously Daily Blind's coming on, which is a shame. Not in the sense that Daily Blind, I love him, but Luke Shaw off injured. It's just typical of our luck at the moment. But the game is about to kick off, so I'm just going to start the clock. No, come on, ref. We're waiting. Any minute now. Okay, we're off. No, not sure why the timer's not on. Oh, there we go. Okay, timer's on. We're on. Let me knock that Skype thing off as well. So we're all set and good to go, which is great. Yeah, disappointed. Really disappointed because I thought, Luke Shaw needs games, needs to force his way back in. Just not happening for him, is it? Just not happening. Luke Shaw off injured. And you wonder what it is. Hopefully it's just a knock, but that momentum that we're trying to build just gets killed a little bit more, doesn't it? But I think it's a valid point. I think Ross was saying it as well. With our defence, you just never have that confidence that it's not going to concede a goal, and it always seems to concede goals, which is a shame. 969 likes. We're only 31 off. I'm sure during this second half, 31 of you will just hit the like button and we'll go over 1,000, which is great. You're always absolutely superb. On the live comments, Louise saying, if Zlatan was more consistent and not being selfish, I would be singing his name from my rooftop. Hopefully he'll get there, but he is Zlatan, isn't he? Ibra score, please, says Dark Might. Mkhitaryan should score. Goal and assist. Get in. First goal for United, says Dev Daraka. Obviously he's got assist. Mark, we can break record again by paying 180 million for Neymar, says Titan. I don't know whether we need... Neymar would be a good signing, but do we really want to keep going down this route of spending ridiculous amounts of money on one player? What United need to do, and I'm all for signing one player for 180 million if they're up, if they are of the calibre of Neymar. But I think what we need to do first of all is build a team. Because we've got some cracking individuals, but we're not a team, and we've not been a team for 3 years, and that's the most important thing for me. Frezzy Hots wants a shout out. Jones hurt next. Let's hope not. We've gone past 1,000 likes. Absolutely brilliant. But Mkhitaryan's in here. Martial 2-1, and that is the goal that we wanted. We wanted the Martial goal. We wanted the Mkhitaryan assist, and that puts us bang bang back in it with the two players. We want to be doing it as well. Bloody love Martial, love Mkhitaryan, and we want them in the team. We want them doing well, and this is what it's all about. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I'm just watching it back now. Good back heel by Valencia, who makes it. Mkhitaryan with so much space, and it's a good finish by Martial. Brilliant, absolutely ecstatic about that. Brilliant. It's the perfect goal because it's the two players I want to do well. I've got to tweet it. He's going to get a lot of assists, Mickey. He got loads last year at Dortmund. Get him in your fantasy football team if you can, because we're back in front with an early goal in the half again. And let's try and get a third this time. I went 3-1. I know a couple of you did as well, but that's what you want to see. Woo! Happy. Valencia, thank you, says Jerome. It was Valencia sort of made that goal. I mean, Mkhitaryan made it, and there's still a bit of work to do. But it just shows you when you've got those two on your width, it can make a hell of a difference. Offside for Zlatan. Awesome goal, says Wright. Martial goal, says Margaret Gill. Martial is back, says Joseph. Mickey equals assist. Nielsen Sniper. Goalzo, says Yusuf. Mkhitaryan man of the match, says Dev. He's got 2 assists, says Bilal. Martial Mkhitaryan 2 assists this match. He's just been saved for the weekend. No, that was a joke. Tony Martial comes from France. The English press said he had no chance from 50 million down the drain. Tony Martial scores again. That's from Man United. Brilliant. We haven't been singing that for a while. Massive Martial fan, as you know. Sort of defended him quite a lot at the start of the season. And then at the weekend, I did say, he needs to book. It's down to him now. He's got to book his ideas up, which it looks like he has. Ashton Smith, second FTD in United stand. Has Mark seen the goal? Did you see the reaction to the goal? I've seen the goal. Brilliant goal. Mkhitaryan is just quality, says Lee Carman. Utman says Martial was sloppy in the first half. I think he had a brilliant first 25 minutes. He sort of fell off a little bit, but he's got the goal now. You know what? Goals win prizes. Goals. You can have a really good game and get no goals, and it gets forgotten. But he's got a goal, and that will keep him in everyone's mind. I haven't bloody put the goal. I've not updated the score. That's how much I enjoyed that. I will enjoy putting 2-1. Don't worry. Sort of got lost in the moment there because it's the perfect goal for me. I mean, if whoever scores is great, but for the future of Manchester United this season and as sorting ourselves out, I think it's so important that the likes of Martial and Zlatan and Mkhitaryan play games for us. And we had that bonus against Feyenoord with that superb performance from Mkhitaryan. He seems to be working his way into the team, and now hopefully we'll start to see Martial working his way into the team as well. And then if we sort the defence out and get a good couple of centre-backs, Bay back, we're starting to build a team again, because we know that in the midfield three we've got great options. Herrera, Carrick, Rooney, Pogba, Mata. If we can sort the width out, I mean, Mkhitaryan just seems to suit that right side. I know he can play at number 10, but he suits it so well. Martial, Mkhitaryan, Zlatan at stretch. We've got an overlap, but I think Herrera will use it. Valencia, poor cross. He couldn't cross his legs, Valencia, sometimes, but he's been a superb player the last few games. But he can't cross his legs. It's the only thing he can't do. Score updated. Do you like Smalling, Mark? Says Titan. I do like Chris Smalling. I know a lot of people have turned against him, and I understand why. He was shocking against Chelsea, but I've always thought Smalling can be a good player, and if Mourinho can turn him into it. I mean, he was fantastic under Van Gaal as well, wasn't he? He's definitely had a drop in form, but everybody has this season had a drop in form, and people have come back from it. Even Rooney, crap for 2 years. Tonight is the best I've seen him in a long time. He's put a deep cross in there to Zlatan, who just chests it down to a West Ham player. I do think that we should take Zlatan off at some point in this game. I don't think 90 minutes is beneficial for him. But Daley Blind, you know what? Actually, losing Luke Shaw is a bad thing, but Daley Blind is a very good. I think left back is his best position. Rooney looking pumped up, that's always good. Manchester United fan says Valencia has this reputation and myth that he can't cross, but he actually has an amazing cross. He's been an amazing player the last few games, but he doesn't have an amazing cross. He's always been pretty crap at crosses. His dinky cross is quite good when he just dinks it up. Mark, do you like Blind? Says Ben and Aaron. Yeah, I love Daley Blind. I think he's a brilliant utility player, but I also think his best position is left back, and if Luke Shaw's injured, we should be playing Blind at left back because he's a very, very good left back. And in fact, Kane Pogba says he thinks Blind's better, which I spoke about this a few weeks ago, if anyone can remember it. I think it's very close between Blind and Shaw, and the form that Shaw's been in lately, I'd be playing Blind every week. It amazes me that we've been playing Darmian there, but Blind's a better left back than Darmian. Mata for Rooney, says Jerome. I think we could put this game to bed if we got Rashford on up front, to be honest. What formation do you like, says Titan? Well, I don't know. Let's throw it out because hopefully West Ham won't get anything and it's gone into a bit of a dull spot. Jones, shocking defending there, but a good bit of defensive play by Blind to block it. My favourite formation, I love 4-4-2 because it's what I've grown up with, but I don't think 4-4-2, we can't play it. We haven't got the players to do it. And in the modern day, I like an adaptation of the 4-4-2. I really like, I suppose you'd call it a 4-1-2-3-1. No, that's wrong. Basically, a holding midfielder ahead of the back four, and then you've got... no, it's not. It's like a 4-1-1-3-1. So in this formation, it's a bit like what we've done today. Carrick anchor in the midfield, Herrera ahead of him, Rooney ahead of him, with Mkhitaryan and Martial interchanging with him, and then ahead of that Zlatan. Marco Mkhitaryan doesn't look happy. He doesn't like he has the fire in like he did in Dortmund. But he's got 2 assists in this game. He looks. I think he, new surroundings, challenging league. It's going to take a little bit of time, but I've seen a lot. Rooney's banned v Everton, is he? Says Glen Island. Is that true? I missed the yellow card. Well, that's just typical of Rooney if that's happened. I can't think why he would be banned. Has he got banned for 1 game? Yeah. I didn't realise that Rooney had... oh, dear. I'll have to tweet that out because... Martial nearly made it 3. Brilliant. Saved by the keeper. Probably should have scored, really. We're critical of Zlatan. I'd like to see that again because I was too busy typing, multitasking, and I'm a man, so not great at it. 5 yellow cards, yeah. In fairness, though, and I'm not digging Rooney out because he's been really good tonight, he never plays well against Everton, so actually we're probably saving ourselves a problem here. Carrick, Zlatan, and it's Rooney who puts Martial in, who is onside. It is a bit of a shame because Rooney has been playing. It's probably the best performance I've seen from Rooney in a long, long time. But he very rarely plays well against Everton. Marshall should have scored. Adrian Smith, I agree with you. Tiger Twain says, good morning and aloha from Hawaii. Tell us what time it is, mate. Presume. Well, it's obviously morning. West Ham are going to make another substitution. Lanzini's coming on, who obviously started at the weekend. They haven't played Lanzini and they haven't played Noble tonight. And we've pretty much played our first... well, I think it's a stronger team, the front 6 anyway, than what we played the other day. Antonio injured for them. They won't want that to happen, but it's happened. He's a very important player for them. I don't know why I've got my earpiece in. We don't need it. And Antonio goes off. Hello from Malaysia, says Freezy Bolts. Jake Pike, 3-4-1-2. De Gea, Smalling, Bailly, Shaw, Mkhitaryan, Herrera, Pogba, Martial, Mata, Ibrahimovic, Rashford. We like the look of that. Lanzini so much better than overrated Antonio, says Manchester United fans. Glen Island makes a good point. We were talking about this before. If Fosu Mensah can't get in the squad for the FL Cup, then he can never going to get a chance. Well, in Mourinho's mind, Fosu Mensah's behind Schneiderlin, and I don't agree with that. But I suppose if you're a Schneiderlin fan, it's quite a positive, because I personally think that Schneiderlin should be in the same boat as Memphis. It's just not worked out. He's not put enough effort in the United shirt, and he's not produced anywhere near the player that we thought we were signing. But I think him being on the bench, which he is consistently on the bench, it shows that Mourinho probably thinks maybe he can get something out of him, but he's probably having to use Carrick way more than he expected to. But I think we've got to play Carrick against Everton. Mkhitaryan, nice little ball into Rooney, and it's the weight of the ball that's superb. In fact, Rooney could have ran onto that, but it's Mkhitaryan again. 3 players on him, still finds a pass. Rooney, Zlatan on his feet, but we'll have a free kick. Mourinho is suspended from the game, Joachim. That's why we're not seeing anything of him. Gamer FC, what's your most favourite United player of all time? Well, I could easily say Duncan Edwards, and I would get that from my granddad because I've got books all about him and everything like that, but I've never seen him play, obviously. So if you want my favourite player of all time that I've seen play, it's Roy Keane, without a question. Herman saying that Rooney should not have been booked. It was a clear dive by the West Ham player. Ref was stupid. Dreadful decision where it wouldn't be the first. Rooney to score this, says Tyler. It's in a very good position. Tyler, in fact, you know what? With free kicks, it would be... what a way to do it as well. What a way to do it. So, hopefully... Zlatan hits it, and the keeper's very lucky, actually. I wish Rooney did that. Would have been a lovely way to break the record. Rooney moved away from it, hit it low, and the keeper got a little bit lucky because it bounced up off him. But it's still 3-0, 2-1. We want 3-1. That's what I went for. Epic Dog Gaming says Rooney's no better than Ross Noble. Well, Ross Noble's been quite good for the last year, and to be honest, Mark Noble, isn't it? Ross Noble's the comedian. That would be bad on Rooney. Mark Noble's been quite good for the last year, so if Rooney's on that level, that's quite good. Because to be honest, the last 2 years, Rooney probably has been about as good as Ross Noble, the comedian. But he's been good tonight, Rooney. Mkhitaryan and Valencia are linking up well, which is good. I love Mkhitaryan. He does tend to keep the ball really well. Rooney, little dink to Martial, who will keep it in. He's got a lot of space. He's in the left wing position. Cross comes in. Mkhitaryan goes down as if he should have a foul. It did look like a dive. Valencia still keeping the ball wide. Herrera, Zlatan, that's a good ball. Valencia, Martial, is he offside? He's not offside. It's 3-1. I thought he was going to be offside. This is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It's a great ball by Zlatan to free Valencia, who, in fairness to that person who said Valencia can cross, he does cross, and Martial makes it 3-1. And if you're a Martial fan, which I am, then that is just... And I went 3-1. Martial again. And this is exactly what we want to see. Really happy. I think Mkhitaryan's been brilliant again, but the fact that Martial's come on and got 2 goals, it's very important to Manchester United's success for everybody who was watching us last year, which I'm sure you were, just how impactful Tony Martial can be in that position for us. And it solves a problem, because I love Rashford, but he isn't that sort of... He's not a left-sided player. Martial just gives us so much. He just needs to get his head right. And hopefully this is a sign that he will get his head right, because... he can be such a valuable player. Just updating the goals for it. I'm on the ball. I'm on the ball for this one. West Ham go at the other end, but well defended by Luke Shaw. I did say we wouldn't struggle to score goals tonight, because it's absolutely typical, because it would have been really bloody perfect if we'd beaten them on Sunday and got 3 points, but... And substitute Zlatan, they said, Kim V. Well, yeah, I would sub Zlatan. I know he set the goal up, but I want to see Rashford on up front. Get him some confidence. Mark, why do you think this doesn't happen in the Premier League, says Mohammed. I mean, it isn't... I suppose, I don't know, pressure's off a little bit, I suppose. Premier League points are more important than cup games to most teams, and, you know, West Ham probably not as focused on this as they were getting a point at the weekend. But then again, that came down to, you know, we still had the chances like we've had tonight. You could argue we've had exactly the same sort of chances as we did on Sunday, but we've not been as clinical. You could say the difference has been Tony Martial, you know. You know, Rashford had a good chance. He didn't take it, did he? He was one-on-one. So, you know. To me, the difference to me tonight, and I sort of we were all talking about it before the game and at half time. The difference in this game, and it is the difference because it's 2 assists for Mkhitaryan, it's 2 goals for Martial. They're playing on the right and the left, and at the weekend we had Rashford and Lingard on the wings. That's the difference. That is the difference, isn't it? Arsenal still 2-0 down. Bastion must come on, says Suk Yamada. It would be nice to see Schweinsteiger on. I just got a horrible feeling that he's just not going to use him. I don't think he'll be on the bench against Everton as well, because I think Pogba and Fellaini will be back. They'll go on the bench. Schneiderlin's fit. I think Schweinsteiger's on the bench because we've had players out. Foul on Mkhitaryan there, who's been great. He should be looking at making substitutions. With a 2-goal gap, we definitely should do. Tricked football, you've got your shout out. Marcus, can you dab please? I'm not Marcus. I thought you were talking about Marcus the moderator. I've seen you say that a couple of times. I won't dab. I probably wouldn't dab for you anyway, but I did say in the summer that I'll only ever dab if we sell Fellaini, and so I don't think that's going to ever happen. Yeah, I think it's been a very good performance. It would be nice if we made a couple of substitutions now. Trovo says Martial is a beast. Bastion is warming up, says Paul Pogba. I'd love to see him back. Bastion is warming up. Bastion's warming up. That's all I can read, and I'm happy. Come on, literally, come on. Blind having a blinder, says Kwame. Mickey Control is unreal. Oh, he's such a good player. We're on the break again here. Phil Jones can feed Martial. And the confidence. Confidence is so much in football. And he's confident. That's a bad pass to Rooney, really. Rooney won't be happy about that. But, Martial is not going to be... This is Martial probably at anywhere between 70 and 80%. He needs to play more. He needs to get sharper. But it's a good start. And he's had a difficult time. He went to the Euros, didn't get used. He's now not even in the French squad. So he's got a long way to come back. And the only person who can do that is himself. And I think, I keep saying this, and I said it to the people who want Memphis back in the team, is that anybody can get into this United team. You've just got to work hard for it. Mkhitaryan, we were worried he was going to get sold. He's worked his way back in. Hopefully we're going to see Schweinsteiger come on in a moment, which is the ultimate showing of, you can be frozen out, but if you work hard, you will get back into this team. Martial has obviously done that. Mata and Herrera, really struggled under Van Gaal, and now they're, such important players. Rooney, many people, myself included, he's on a terminal decline. I don't know what he can do for United anymore. I still think he is on the decline, and you still see that little bits where players just, he hasn't got what he used to have. But this is without doubt the best I've seen him play in 2 years. And again, Mourinho's shown that he will drop anybody, absolutely anybody. And the players who've responded to that have been far better for it. And the players that don't respond to it, maybe they shouldn't be here in the first place. It's a corner for West Ham. I'll be looking at a couple of substitutions now. Please say my name, man, says Freezy Hots. Schweinsteiger on, says Lewis Cordell 101. No substitution yet, I'll let you know. Andrew Thomas is spot on. We've said it. The difference tonight is we've played our best wide players. Please give me a shout out, says Trip Productions 1. And the corner's come to nothing. Who's Bastion, says Tom Collins. You haven't lived, mate, if you don't know who Bastion is. I mean, just a very quick story. Schweinsteiger was always, apart from United, my favourite midfield player of the last decade. He's just a brilliant, brilliant player. When we signed him, I was just, if anybody saw the reaction we did last summer, I think it was about 10 o'clock at night on a Friday, I was absolutely ecstatic. It's, you know, the thing I'd love to see Schweinsteiger play for United again is I still think he's got it. And I think we've all written off the 2 years under Van Gaal. You know, Herrera was not that good under Van Gaal. Same with Mata. And you look at them now and they're good players again. Schweinsteiger was not really that good under Van Gaal. We've not really seen the real Schweinsteiger. And I would just look, we might not. Maybe, you know, he'd get injured again and we won't. But I'd just love to see him given the opportunity that others have had under Mourinho. And we've seen, you know, look at the Herrera we've seen. Look at the Mata we've seen. It'd be great to just see that. Sam Howell, you can have a shout out, of course you can. I hope you've all subscribed to the channel. It's free to do. There's a hologram in the bottom right hand corner. We've surpassed 54,000 subscribers tonight. But the more important thing for me, we do Skype Goldbridge or Skype the United Stand, whatever you want to call it, on a Monday night at 8:30. And basically, we open up Skype. The Skype name is Mark Goldbridge. You Skype in, we get you on in that box to my left there. We're going to do one tomorrow night because we've normally been playing on a Thursday night, so we couldn't do it. So we're going to do one tomorrow night at 8:30. If you subscribe to the channel, you'll always get notifications of when we go live. But we will be live tomorrow night at 8:30, taking your calls on anything United. So join us for that. And obviously, we're always live at 8:30 on a Sunday night for the Sunday night show, review of United. We do previews live. So just get involved. It's your channel, and it's turning more and more into that. A good cross by Mickey, and I think if Martial had gambled in on that, but the quality of cross from Mkhitaryan, I haven't really seen that sort of quality coming in since the days of David Beckham. Mark, sum up Liverpool in 3 words. Domestos bleach. That's not 2 words, although it would be a good one. Domestos bleach and obsessed. And not going to win the league. That's 4. Won't win league. That's 3. I said it. There's a massive account who's tweeting us yesterday. Footy accumulators. They've got 500,000 followers, and they jumped on a tweet I'd said about Liverpool. Obviously, Liverpool fans. And I said to them, "Here's an accumulator for you. I bet you £100, which we can both put to charity, that United will win the league before Liverpool do." Nothing. Heard nothing. Because they're bottlers, and that's what Liverpool are. People can give it out, but I guarantee we'll win the league before they do. Rooney nearly put Mkhitaryan in there. Want to see a sub? Let's not just see the last 5-minute worthless cameo. Let's do it. Abby Omal wants a shout out, and he's got one. Carrick definitely isn't playing on Sunday, says Kellen Denk. It's probably a good point, Kellen. Although he's got because to be honest, Wednesday to Sunday, it's a good 3 days rest. It's not Thursday to Sunday. But I don't know why. I think now, you know, Zlatan has a goal. Perfect time to get Rashford on. I don't know. It doesn't look like we're going to make any subs anytime soon. I don't know whether anyone else has got anything else. Paul Michael Bales makes a good point. Buying a specialist right back to replace Valencia could be a mistake. He's been our player of the season so far for United. Yeah, he has. He's been fantastic. Really, really has. And it makes you think maybe Mkhitaryan here on the attack. Nice little lob to Martial. He's got lots of space on the left-hand side of the penalty box. Oh, the cross was unfortunately wrong. Martial hat-trick? No. Oh, come on. Daley Blind looked like he was fouled there. Don't know what's happened here. Rooney's hurt himself in the face. Bleeding. I don't know what's going on here. What's going on, anybody? To sort of stop the play, I don't know what happened. But Rooney's caught one in the face. Watching it back. Martial's got a load of room. Goes to put the cross in. Oh, Rooney got kicked in the face. To be fair, I don't know what anyone else is. Rooney's bleeding. Cross came in. Rooney's gone for it with his head and he gets kicked in the face. I don't personally think. Well, it's a high foot. It's a high foot. Kevin H says Valencia looks like the best right back I've seen for years. He's doing very well. He's doing very well, and you would say why go and buy somebody? Maybe let's look at that in the summer. And hopefully he's had the injury that's going to keep him out for a while. Game of Pro 2016. Game sort of stopped. Cross came in. It played on a little bit, but I think they saw the injury to Rooney. He's got a cut face. Went for a header and caught one in the face. Didn't look like a penalty on first reaction, but when you watch it back, it is a high foot. So it could have been a penalty. I wish we'd made a substitution though, because I think, again, 3-1 up, the game's done. Let's get a couple of players on. 15 minutes is... We've wasted 5 minutes not doing these subs. I just tweeted out that we should be getting Rashford on. It's the perfect time for him to play up front. A couple of United fans have said no thanks. You wonder where some people are sometimes, don't you, with their opinions? But it's what makes football interesting. It's all about opinion. I'll tell you what though, you can't accuse Mourinho of not taking this tournament seriously. Whether you would or you wouldn't, he's not for changing, is he? He's not going to make any subs. No way. Jose. There's not been a red card, don't worry. There's Martial down the left. He's got lots of confidence. He's got lots of pace. And he can't get past his man. Bola Habib, Mark, you've got to say Waz has been good today. I think we've said it numerous times. He has been good today. I think he ain't going to play against Everton. That sort of solves the problem, really. It's like, would you play him against Everton? I think there's a case that you probably would. Here is Rooney. Little play with Mkhitaryan. Shoots. Not going to come back enough. We had a good sight of that from where he shot it. No subs, folks. It's what it is, isn't it? You can't moan that when we're 3-1 up, but I would have made some subs. I would. Marcus says everyone's played well tonight, which they have. I think he's going to get... I think he's terrified of Schweinsteiger coming on and playing well for like 20 minutes, so he's just giving him a little cameo. Mkhitaryan. Ooh, corner. Shoots. He decided to have a shot from outside the box. That would cap off a brilliant game from him, really, but he's been superb. Brandon says Blind is rubbish. Disagree. Please say... How much time left, please? The clock there, 12 minutes. 12 minutes left. Brandon thinks Blind's a bad player because he's slow and has a bad haircut. Graham Duncan, Martial has been impeccable. He's made a few mistakes, but I think it comes down to goals, and he's got 2 goals, and that's what will be remembered. Zlatan picking up a Rooney thing. And he's trying to do all the skills today, Zlatan, and then he just passes it to a West Ham player. Get him off. Get Rashford on. And to be honest, actually, there's not much point getting Rashford on now. I mean, 10 minutes is just not long enough, is it? Tricked Football. Mark, can you show us the game, please? Would love to. The channel would be shut down in no time. We haven't got the rights to show you live footage. I wish we did, but we can't. 5 goals in 4 matches for us versus West Ham for Martial. Andre Gosh. Very interesting stat, that. He likes playing against West Ham. Beer Eats made me laugh. He says, must be embarrassing for Schweinsteiger. We're on the attack here, although Rooney's lost it. Must be embarrassing for Schweinsteiger to be behind Carrick, Herrera and even Jackson 5 wannabe Fellaini. Massive. You could have gone to watch United tonight. There's loads of empty seats, but I bet we've still got about 60,000 watching. Rooney's getting a lot of love from the crowd. He's been very good tonight, Wayne Rooney. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if some people said he's been their man of the match. You'd be wrong. It's got to be Martial or Mickey, but he's in definite. Well, Valencia's been brilliant as well. And I think, oh, what a cross that is by Mkhitaryan. Oh, good save, still in. Could have kept that in, Mickey. Some sensational play there. Brilliant cross by Mkhitaryan. In fact, I don't think we've seen crossing like this. I'm going to tweet it, and I bet it will get loads of retweet. It should do. It deserves it. And I'm going to tell you what it is. This is the corner. I really don't. There's been like 2 or 3 crosses he's put in tonight, and really, you know, I'm a massive fan of David Beckham, and they are that good. And if we can get that going with somebody like Zlatan, it's frightening, and Zlatan will love it. We've not been putting enough good quality ball crosses in for Zlatan, and you've got a player there who can do it. Ragaram says, why didn't we play this team on the weekend? You know what, a week ago, if you'd said to me you're going to play Feyenoord, West Ham at home in the league and West Ham at home in the League Cup, and you can only win 2 of them, I would have took the league number 1. I would have done. Unfortunately, that's the one we didn't win. But we must be unbeaten in quite a while now. I said the other day that I think what will happen with United is we will click at some point around New Year. We will then be very, very hard to beat, and we'll start destroying teams. It'll probably be too late for us to it'll be too late for us to win the title. It might be too late for us to even get top 4, but we will then take that form into next season and we'll win the league next year. And I think that's what will happen with United. Unfortunately, I think we've just dropped a few too many points for us to be able to do anything in the league now. I think even top 4 is going to be difficult, only because the consistency of the top 4 at the moment is just going to be very hard to break down. But we're 8 points off 4th now. I did say if we were 5th, on New Year's Day, if we're 5 points off 4th, we might be able to do it. But we've got, to do that, we've got to win. We've got to win. Bastion is clearly not coming on, which is a real waste. I think it's a waste that this game has been 3-1 for the last 20 minutes and we've not bothered to bring any subs on. Poor defending from across there by Blind, but we get away with it. I mean, I don't understand why he hasn't made any subs. I mean, am I being a bit harsh? Schweinsteiger's coming on. He is coming on. Which is good. I mean, he's only going to get a little cameo. You sort of feel that this might be his last cameo, but I can give you the vote. Give you some sound on this one. I love Schweinsteiger. He's not quite ready yet, so we're not that down. He will be coming on. Mkhitaryan's on the break though. This could be 4. He's got a look on. Just behind Zlatan. Oh, Zlatan tackled Mkhitaryan. What's he doing? He's a bit of a selfish sod, Zlatan. I mean, it's brilliant when it works, but he should have left that there. If Schweinsteiger's lucky, he might get 3 minutes. We need somebody to do a foul or something to get him on the pitch. So West Ham are on the attack here. Put it out, Tony. Rooney, he's your mate. Put it out. Somebody put it out. Yeah, he's going to come on now. Yes, brilliant. He's coming on. Worth the ticket going if you've gone there tonight, lads, and girls. Because you've got to see something I never thought I'd see. Martial off for Schweinsteiger. And a massive applause, which is great. And also for Martial as well. It's probably the one player to take off. Never thought we'd see it again. It's such a nice moment. West Ham on the attack. Shoot, corner. We probably won't get to see him doing anything. I suppose the interesting thing about the Schweinsteiger thing is it a lot of sort of a goodbye thing because you've worked so hard? A little reward that he's worked and earned it, or will we see more of him? I think with 5 minutes, the cynic in me would say it's a nice reward for the fact that he's worked so hard to get back, to have a little bit of a goodbye. But I'd love to see him more in a United shirt. I think he's a very, very good player, and he can offer a lot for United. I mean, the question is, has he still got it at this level? He's not blessed with a lot of pace. He always looks quite bulky to me, but Tricked Football says why we're going more defensive. We've got Mourinho in charge. That's what happens in the last 10 minutes of games. But you can't complain about the attacking football. It's been great. GGMU. Go Manchester United, that is. Herrera. Tried to give it to Schweinsteiger. It was a shocking pass. Played by Rojo. The thing about Rojo is, and I've been very cynical of him, anybody will improve under Mourinho. You can't, Rojo has deserved the criticism he's got. He used to jump in and get skinned, or he'd stand off and someone would shoot from a long distance. And they are probably things that a good manager can say. Don't jump in so much, but don't give them so much space. Mourinho's perfect at that. And if anyone deserves the credit, obviously Marcus Rojo deserves it. Phil Jones deserves it for... they've got to put it into praise, but it just shows you what Mourinho can do, and I think he deserves a massive amount of applause for that as well. Valencia's coming forward here. It'd be nice to get 4, but I did predict 3-1, so it'd be nice to keep it at that. Now, I want 4. Mkhitaryan, give it to Schweinsteiger. Let's see him with a touch. He's got it. Zlatan, Schweinsteiger. Ooh! Schweinsteiger shot wide. It wasn't far off as well. He caught it well. Lovely. The way he caught it from outside the box. Arrows for the far corner. And it had the right trajectory. It was just wide. CJ Gildies says, imagine if he'd scored right then. I know. Rashford's coming on now for Mkhitaryan. I mean, he just won't sub Zlatan, will he? But another massive amount of applause for Mkhitaryan. How much time left? Literally a minute or two. So Rashford comes on to go on the right wing. Again, I think that's ridiculous, but there you go. Rashford the man, Rashford in, Bastian to score and set up a goal for Rooney so he can equal the record. Soccer Boy says it would have been, you know what, again, I think Rooney deserves a goal tonight. His performance has been really, really good. I'm happy to say that it's his best in 10 years. 2 years. And again, that goes down to Mourinho, because where's this Rooney been? And whether it's kick up the backside, the first managers to drop him, or whatever you want to call it, the improvement in some of our players has been great. And I'll go back to what I said in the first half. This is the best football we're seeing under United at home, especially this season. All right, we haven't scored as many goals since West Ham with a chance there, because Jones's pass out the back four was terrible. Even the season we won the league under Sir Alex, his last year, the football wasn't great in that. I think we're playing better than that. So there's lots of positives. We just need to start winning games. We're coming towards the end of this stream. We've been live for 3 hours now, because we go an hour live before kick-off with the team news, which came in a bit earlier than an hour before. So if you are new to the United Stand, please subscribe to the channel. The hologram in the bottom right hand corner is there. Just click it. It's free. We do loads of live content, and if you are a subscriber, you should get a notification when we go live, and we want you to be part of this channel. It is all about your opinion. Talking of which, tomorrow night, because we have got no game tomorrow, because there's no Europa League tomorrow, thank God. We normally do it on a Monday. We do do it on a Monday. Skype Goldbridge. We're doing another one tomorrow night at 8:30. We'll be live. Skype Goldbridge. You can Skype in, say what you want to say. We're going to try and get through at least 10 or 15 callers tomorrow night as well. Obviously, be live on Sunday with a watch-along for the Everton game, which is a 4 o'clock kickoff. So we'll be live from 3 o'clock with the team news. West Ham. Ooh, they should have scored just over the bar. And Sunday night we'll obviously be live again at 8:30. So there's always daily content on the United Stand. And transfer stuff is starting to get more and more exciting as well. I've got a transfer show I need to do. It's just fitting it in. I was going to do it tomorrow, but maybe we can factor that into Skype Goldbridge, because there's a load of defenders I was talking about before the game. Rudiger at Roma, Howard is, Socrates, Lindelof, Van Dijk, Moore. Manolas, I love Manolas. I think we're going to sign one of them in January, so we can talk about that. So please, subscribe to the channel. I'd say like the video, but we've surpassed the 1,000 likes, which I always like you to get on a watch along, because you're absolutely fantastic. I used to do this. I'm just watching here. Good run by Herrera. Cut back. 4-1. And it's Zlatan who gets his second goal, and it's a well-deserved goal. And yes, I have to say, I did say 4-1. No, I didn't. I said 3-1, but I'm happy to give it up, because more goals for that man and more goals for Manchester United is confidence. It's a shame we've scored so many goals against and in the 2 cup games and not been able to replicate it in what I believe was the more important game. But lovely play by Herrera. Lovely play by Herrera. And nice to see Zlatan getting a couple of goals, because apparently he's a flop. People say he's a flop, but he's not. And it's good to see him getting 2 goals off the floor, because he has been missing the ones on the floor, hasn't he? So I'm updating the score all over the place. We're going to click at some point. I don't think we've clicked yet. I know we've done very well today. We've got to click in the league, and we will click in the league at some point, but it's full time. But there's not a lot wrong with that performance tonight. There's not a lot wrong with it. A De Gea mistake gave West Ham a goal. But the big positive for me is Anthony Martial back, playing like we wanted him to play, like he played last season. Really important player. Mkhitaryan again. That's 3 good performances I've seen from him. He can be brilliant, and I think his crossing was brilliant. Zlatan getting a couple of goals with his feet is a big positive. Seeing Schweinsteiger for 5 minutes in a Manchester United shirt, never thought I'd see that again. And even if we don't ever see it again, at least we saw it again in good circumstances. Really happy about that. Tyrone Williams, I'm so glad that Martial scored. Yeah, me too, mate. Really pleased for United. Really pleased for United fans, because it's been so frustrating in the league. But Rooney was brilliant as well. Rooney brilliant. Herrera and Carrick were so good, and they didn't really get any credit tonight. So it was nice that Herrera did that, set up that goal, because they have been unsung heroes, but that's what their job is. Carrick's been doing it for a decade, and Herrera is stepping up into that as well. So really good. Mickey man of the match says Gamer Pro. Antonio Melky says great match. We'll click against Everton, says Nazar Moore. It's going to be a very difficult game. A very difficult game against Everton away at Goodison Park. No matter who they are, what team, where they are in the league, they always produce against us. Rooney will miss it. Pogba will be back. Will Schweinsteiger be on the bench? But we go into it with some confidence. And a few of you saying Rooney man of the match, which is great to see. Thanks everybody for watching. You've been superb on the live comments. I love doing the watch along. Like I said, I used to always have a guest with me in that box there. We do have a guest at half time, and we have guests before. But you said, when the game's actually live, you wanted it just to be me and you in the live comments. And I think it works really well. I can't do it without you. You're absolutely superb. That's why I want 1,000 likes on the watch-alongs. Don't care about the other videos, but 1,000 likes on the watch-alongs, because it's all for you. Join me tomorrow, because tomorrow's your show as well. Skype Goldbridge, tomorrow night, 8:30 on the United Stand. We will be live. Skype in. It's Mark Goldbridge. We'll be live from 8:30. The name is Mark Goldbridge on Skype. Get Skyping in with your thoughts. The United Stand is your channel. It is about your opinion. We can't do it without you. Been absolutely superb tonight. Get involved tomorrow night. We're talking everything United. If you haven't subscribed, please do. It's free. You've been brilliant. And I am going to do my match reaction. Probably do that in about 10-15 minutes when we know what the draw is for the semi-final. But yeah, brilliant. Really pleased. Loads of positives. But the big positive for me, 3 of them. Martial, massive fan of his, and it looks like he's got his head in gear. Mkhitaryan, massive fan of his, and he's got 2 assists. He's the assist maker. And Schweinsteiger in the United shirt. So pleased. But there are other positives. Rooney was great. Zlatan getting 2 with his feet. Herrera and Carrick were great. The back 4 did well in, for what they are. So loads of positives. I'll be back with my match reaction in about 10-15 minutes time. I just need to set that up and see what the draw is. But for now, you've been brilliant, and what a night. What a positive. Speak to you soon.